Hey everybody, welcome to Liberty Libations. Everybody's awake for this one, not just Jake, like the title says. We were gonna have all the crew in here doing shenanigans while Jake was away and couldn't stop us, but right now it's just me and Alden. So
we'll do what we can.
Yeah.
We'll do our best to hold down the fort.
Yeah. So I threw the link out there to a couple more people, so some people might be joining, so don't hang up yet. But I guess me and Alden will just jump into it and start talking about the news and whatever I had prepared. So does that sound good?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
All right.
I'll be learning the news like as you tell me because I've been under a rock with moving here lately, so it's all new to me.
I'm not sure if I have the most important stuff picked out in the world, so you might need, you might know the like least important news there is to know this week. But
okay.
We'll see. All right. So the first one. So I learned this week that thieves are stealing Hyundais and Kias with just a USB cable.
Okay.
So basically, Korean cars really easy to steal, and this has become a TikTok trend showing kids how to do it.
Oh, great. Where is that plugged in?
That's like the steering column. So they're just ripping the bottom of the steering column out, and then you take the key mechanism off, and that's under there.
Wow. Great.
And then let me forward one slide here. So basically, it's showing that you just need a USB charger, but it's not even that you need a charger or anything. No data is being transferred. It just happened that happened to fit USB really well. So people are using USB. Yeah.
Oh, so okay. So it's not a USB like driver port. No. It's just the shape. Okay.
I mean, you could probably do it with pliers or do it with, whatever. But I guess just carrying a charger is so discreet that they'll just go knock out the window of a car, rip off the steering column, and then do that real quick.
So you are allowed to carry a USB charger in your pocket, like so that's not conspicuous. But the thing that
maybe it is now, but
some states have laws against holding ceramic shards in your pocket, like a spark plug or pot shards or whatever, like because you can throw it at the window and shatter the window really easily. Anyway, that's just like one trick to get into the car, which maybe we shouldn't be telling people or whatever. But
yeah. Like you'd have to have a weird excuse for that too. Like I'm a potter and carrying ceramic shards.
Yeah, I just broke in my pocket. I don't know. I couldn't get them all out.
So
well, great. Okay, more things to worry about. Well, I don't have a Korean car, so I guess it'll be a little harder.
But the people that have been doing it, and this is apparently not new either. I started looking into it. This has been happening for like 6 months or something, but it came on my radar because a friend of mine had his Hyundai stolen. So I was looking.
Was it? Does he know? Did he end up recovering it or anything, or does he know if it was this way, or was he just like now guessing?
I think
it might be.
It sounds like it was. Like I heard that it was a young kid that did it, and then also the car got returned to him, and it was like just they joyrided it and just destroyed it. So
it feels like just like an escalation of like a package thief where it's like you're not really like selling it to a chop shop or whatever, but it's just because you're bored and it's a thrill or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is what we do now apparently. Great.
This is like the equivalent of us watching Jackass or whatever when we were teenagers. Yeah. Just like doing stupid stuff in the grocery store.
Yeah, of course.
Now they're stealing cars.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the other part. So they're called the Kia Boys. And let's watch the beginning of this video real quick.
The screech of stolen cars can be heard ripping through roads.
They're stealing Kias and Hyundais with a cell phone charger.
And a new viral trend that is now a real-life menace.
I don't give a fuck where you at. If you in Japan, Australia, you're in the middle of Antarctica, you got a kid that's on that, please be safe. So I'm going to beat your ass whoever did this, bro.
Earlier this year, the Kia Voice Challenge took over TikTok because of it. Thousands of cars, just like this one, have been stolen with nothing more than a screwdriver and an iPhone cable. How the hell you still?
Well, I just wanted to show that because like that's how they're also driving the cars once they've stolen them. They're going around like whipping them side to side, and like that's part of the TikTok trend.
Right.
It's not just to steal it, but then to go out and like whip it back and forth while you're driving.
Okay, great. Yeah, this is. I thought the cinnamon challenge was done, but this is a whole other level.
And then I don't think all of that footage there was like legit from this, but you know, the ones of them whipping the car, I think were.
Yeah.
And then I saw one of them like pointing guns at some 14-year-old, and I think that one was legit from this. He got caught, so.
Yeah, great. Well, I was wondering if the driving was like, were they combining it with another TikTok trend? It's like they're on a Tide Pod challenge, and then they do this, and that's just how you drive, like with a Tide Pod, you know, but no, it's apparently a specific thing. Well, that's fun. That's good to look out for. I've been just concerned enough for like my, you know, the catalytic converter getting stolen, because that's just like, it's I think it's like 3 times more than like just the year prior or something. But so, you know, fun.
Yeah,
New stuff.
maybe there's all this low-hanging fruit now. Your catalytic converter might be safe for a little bit.
Yeah, everyone's going to move on to just the Korean cars for a while, and maybe I'll be all right with my Honda. Well, that's fun.
So,
okay, that's uplifting.
Yeah. We are going to blow through all this with just you and me, too. Like, I expected for, you know, like 10 people to be chiming in, not just like me bringing this up to you, but.
And then me being like, I haven't heard of this. Yeah. Perfect. I love that Donut is on here. Like, what are they going to, like, try to do it themselves to see if it can be done, kind of a thing?
Yeah, he did do it himself, but he also blurred it all out, so it wasn't that exciting. So just like the very beginning of the thing where they showed the demonstration was cool, but then after that, it's like you just see a guy on a blurry car doing stuff. So.
Okay, so they're trying to do it, but also not like teach people how to do it. Okay.
Yeah.
They're walking a fine line.
It didn't really seem that hard to figure out either. And then like that news article kind of shows the key piece there. It's like, obviously, that doesn't
the news loves to do that, where they're like, watch out, a few people have done this. And then like, you know, we could talk about just that aspect of this where it's like, well, now you're going to make it even more widespread and more, you know, I don't know, man. It's reminds me of like how shootings are reported on and things like that. And,
like supposedly you're not supposed to say the name of the shooter or show flashing lights and sirens and excitement and things like that.
Right.
Because it makes people be like, oh, well, they're getting all this attention.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I guess I buy that. It's been shown, but that does seem weird to me. Be like, oh, well, this guy's on TV. I guess I'll go murder some people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think that way. But I'm not going to kill anybody, you know? So like, I don't know. I don't know how much that would or wouldn't have an impact. But if it truly is people that are doing it for attention, then I would think that it would have an impact. But
yeah,
unless it's some, what is it? What's that? Never mind. We shouldn't even get into it. CIA program stuff. We're gonna get on a whole tangent thing.
No, I think we should go on a tangent because honestly, like some of the stuff I have lined up, we need Steven here for because you wouldn't even have enough to say about it.
I usually like I'll try to like be careful and like not say too much and then he'll throw out the word like Stargate. I'm like, oh, all right, we're going there.
Yeah,
like he surprises me sometimes with it. That's fun.
He gets to determine how deep we go. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, now I'm blanking on the term. What's the term for that? It's CIA program where it's like a mind control thing or whatever. And then some people say that a lot of those shooters. You say MK Ultra, like.
Yeah.
Yeah. You cut out, but I just got just enough that it jarred my memory there. But that's what some people attribute, at least some of, not maybe all, like to shootings to something like that or whatever. But and then if that's the case, then I don't know how much the news would do anything there. But I don't know. That is quite a rabbit hole, though. So before we go down the MK Ultra rabbit hole, maybe we should check in with other stories.
No, I like that. Have you heard of those people who claim to be MK Ultra patients or whatever you?
Oh, like the people that were in the like kind of Manchurian Candidate style like programming stuff or whatever. I don't think I've seen.
We got
like
somebody joining us. We got Buddy. What's going on?
Hey
boys.
Are you on your bed or getting a massage right now?
We got a new guest bed, so our office is also a guest bedroom. So I'm laying in here. I'm on my tum-tum, and I got my feet kicking up, if you can see. Let's see here.
You look cozy.
Oh, I got my night pants on. It's great.
Nice.
What are we talking about? Sorry.
Well, we started talking about the rash of Kia and Hyundai thefts, where it was a TikTok challenge showing kids how to steal cars.
With the USB?
Yeah. But
Yeah,
we'd
I've
already
heard
moved on to talking about MK Ultra naturally. So
Oh, and then I show up. Weird.
He's a plant. Yeah,
No,
everyone knows. Yeah.
Oh, I'm probably on so many lists. No, I really thought about that. Like, God, what year was it? It was before I had children. 2010. Like me and a bunch of people, musicians from church, we went to Indonesia, and then so we came back. So like we went to Indonesia for like 10 days, and then like we came back, and our friends on Facebook, like we all we met so many people, and it was part of an organization that was Christian and Muslims working together. So like we all went to Indonesia for 2 weeks and then came back and made a bunch of Muslim friends. I was like, oh Lord, like, oh man.
If you weren't on the list then, you are.
We are persons of interest for sure.
I'm afraid to know how many times I've been like flagged or whatever, man. That's creepy.
I don't know. Look at you, Zach. Where are you? And Tron? What's up?
Yeah, he's got the cyberpunk thing going on here.
Yeah,
I should have done that with a background for me because I got nothing.
Is Jake like for real in Montana now, so he doesn't have internet? Like, is he for real doing it? Is he getting the taste for it?
Yeah, I think a Mountain Lion ate his modem or something this week, or whatever his excuse was. Yeah.
Oh, is he? We got to come up with a nickname for him, so he's not. God, this is not a flattering angle at all. But
what is your best angle?
Not, I don't know. So not as cool as Grizzly Man. Yeah, no, really. He can't be as cool as Grizzly Man, but I don't know. It'll come to me.
Grizzly Man?
But not as cool as Grizzly Man.
It's one that he'll earn. He'll come back with some cool story and it'll be in there.
There was a guy so because I live in Savannah, there's a lot of people I get to know from Savannah College of Art and Design. So
that's where I went.
Oh yeah, okay.
With Jake, yeah.
So I bet we somewhere that we know the same people, just at least in passing. I didn't go.
There probably is a few, yeah.
I didn't go there, but I'm sure we know some people. But with all the international students there was a dude. His name was Ina, and he was from, like, he's African. Like, he's not an African American.
Mm-hmm.
He's an African. Like, that's like, you know. But so he would be at church, and so he had he bought it in Savannah, just some mysterious claw looking necklace or something, and he would just tell all these white chicks that in his strongest African accent, he in his tribe they had to kill a lion before they could come to America to study.
Nice.
And so this is from the lion that he killed with his bare hands, and oh my god.
And
when really he was probably from a major city in Nigeria or something, just their New York City.
He's like, I'm trying to figure out. I can't remember. I message him a lot on Facebook, or I see him a lot on Facebook because he really enjoys
the screech of
he just seeing his perspective from the American Empire in Africa where he is. I can't remember where he is. I don't know if it's Nigeria. But probably he's into film and all that kind of stuff. He's a successful dude.
You're in the film. You're probably not out hunting lions very much.
With bare hands.
Hunting scams. What else is going on in the world of liberty? Or are we just talking about anything? Are we gabbing?
Just kind of stalling still right now. Steven's going to join in a little bit, and there are topics on here that we're not qualified to talk about. We need somebody smart. So.
But those are the best ones.
Yeah, but it's kind of boring, nerdy.
I bet you I can fake my way through some of them.
Yeah.
What are some of the topics?
Well, we had started talking about MK Ultra, and I asked, have you ever encountered or heard from those people who claim to have just grown up in MK Ultra? I've heard these people on podcasts. They'll talk about it just some MK Ultra programming, and then my parents were in on it too. And I don't know if it's legit, but those people exist where they just talk about it like that's what they grew up in. That was their lives of being programmed.
Yeah, some people swear it is.
Well, I guess much like you don't know. I mean, the best propaganda or programming is the stuff that you don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
So the best thing. So
brainwashing doesn't work if you tell someone we're going to brainwash you. Actually,
well, it's great. So that's what makes the movie Idiocracy so great.
I love that movie. Yeah.
We had some friends in town, and the wife had never seen Idiocracy, so we watched it. And then the next day, the next night, we went to a Savannah Bananas game. Shout out. And the producer announcer guy, he played the sound clip of Whopper Junior Whopper, and the whole it sold out. Over 4,000 people just finished the song.
Yeah,
you rule. And I looked at her and went, Idiocracy. We just got 4,000 people to just chant Poison. Just like an advertisement.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh my God. So
right.
But I remember talking to my mom about some of the MK Ultra stuff that people know about, and she was like, sure, I remember some of that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, and then you just okay with it? Y'all just moved on?
They had a lot going on themselves.
In general, I've struggled with that where as you start to learn really weird shit, you're like, do you just so you just go about your normal life knowing this now? I don't know. I'm able to hold weird stuff and still just do life, I guess, at this point, but I don't know. For a little while when I was younger, it was starting to kind of tear me in half where I'm like, I don't get it. How can people not, be asking this question, or how can people not be just okay with, that we're doing this in that country or whatever. I was trying to circle back to 9/11 and stuff. And
that is my autism, where I'm not bothered by things. I get bothered that everyone else is not bothered.
Right. I think that's where it was, honestly, for me, that was what was bothering me was the people around me, my friends and my family and stuff are just not on the same, and I'm I was even, kind of I quote a kid, and I was starting to ask all these questions in 11, 12, 13, starting to be this doesn't add up. And it was weird to me to see all your adult role models around just going with it, and I'm I don't get why everyone's just not asking questions about how funny this looks on the news right now or whatever, I don't know.
Yeah. What was your, I don't know, this might be a real hokey question, but
I'm here for it, man. Yeah.
When was, and I can go first. I can break the ice. I'm not shy.
Okay.
I'm just gonna ask, what was your first
orgasm?
Lip.
Don't pause too long, or I'll make it weird. See, now anything that you say will be better than that. So
no, yeah. I was just gonna say, what was your first, what was y'all's first realization of
the Matrix?
I was just saying of just being libertarian leaning, fundamentally, you could even realizing that it finally made sense to you, even so. I'll say this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all growing up, we would watch, as a family, we'd watch the news together, or there was some it's semi-interesting 2020 or something.
Right.
But dude, John Stossel ruled when he'd do those breakout segments for
mm-hmm.
And I was just always I don't, because even then I could tell he was not controversial, but was that the early to mid 90s, spicy takes,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was just I don't know, those just seem kind of common sense to me. I don't and I guess right, is that
yeah
is that just rooted libertarian autism that you kind of have it or you don't?
I think people probably gravitate toward libertarianism as a philosophy and a party a little bit that tend to think a little bit more independently and outside of the scope of what we're told and stuff. And I would say, to answer your question a little bit, it's kind of like two parts where it's like the things about me that ended up driving me toward libertarianism were established at a pretty young age by watching the people around me and like understanding more that I didn't trust, you know, the news, and that you had like this like two-sided kind of war thing going on, but it felt like it was like pitting people against each other and stuff. And at first I didn't like get into like Libertarian the party. I was just like outside of the, like zoomed out of the whole like red v blue kind of a battle and just being like, oh, this is like a charade and kind of like a, you know, a big scam. And then I started to like, you know, vote third party and like do that like later, you know, but I would say there was probably like a 10-year gap between establishing those skills and kind of like my own identity in that, and like being outside of like kind of more like the quote norm, even though there's like two norms, you know, like two halves kind of, and getting sort of like slipping through the cracks of that. And then probably honestly much more recent in my life, because I wasn't a very political person until more recently, where I actually found myself involved in like, you know, like libertarian conversation, like more specifically, but that I've been more about like as a principle freedom and just being like, you know, the don't tread on me kind of thing. And I think that that's what's cool about libertarianism, is that I actually, we've talked about this before on this channel, it's more natural, I think, to lean toward just the concept of like, I'm going to do me, you do you. I don't want the government telling me what to do. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't think as many people either A, realize what libertarianism really even is, or B, think it's going to have a fighting chance. And so they vote with some other like, you know, lesser of two evils kind of a argument, because they have been whipped up into I got to vote basically against that other thing. You know what I mean? And so they don't go that way just because they don't think it has like a numbers game type chance. But really, probably a lot of voters would be more libertarian if it was all on equal playing field kind of thing. But
sure,
that's my take on it.
Zach, when did you decide to grow your hair out?
We were just talking about this.
Well, I went to a high school where I wasn't allowed to. So since I've always kind of been like, you know, against rules and authority and stuff, even I had to do it then. So I'm like, well, I'm going to grow it out after high school. But then I kept on finding reasons to cut it. I could be like, oh, I got this interview or, you know, this informal event to go to or whatever. So I'd keep cutting it. And then one day I'm just like, I'm just done, not doing it anymore. And I like it. So, and plus my hair, when it's short, is always even more unruly than this. So it kind of works.
Yeah, the weight kind of like tames the curl, you know, into a wave. Yeah. I literally cut my hair today, like, but I had long, not quite as long as him, but I had like shoulder length here like an hour ago.
Was it a private school or was it just like a cultural public school? The cultural influenced the rules.
Yeah, it was like a small public school. So it was in Chickamauga, Georgia. It's a city school, but almost nobody lives in the city of Chickamauga, so it's pretty small, and they have lots of
public school. Told you couldn't have long.
Yeah, they had a pretty strict dress code.
Oh, hang on,
wow,
guys, I gotta.
All right,
I'll be right back.
Sure, yeah. I didn't even realize that a public school like could tell you that you had to have a certain kind of hair.
It is weird. I don't know. They somehow get away with it because they're public for people in the city limits, which is almost nobody. But then there's like somewhat private for everybody else who's outside of the city limits.
Is that really like Northwest Georgia?
Yeah.
That's like where I'm going to be moving. I think that you mentioned that actually. If you were like, if we were undecided, between the border, you know, states, but we ended up on the Chattanooga side, but it's very close. Like,
yeah, and I think the Chattanooga Dam or whatever is called the Chickamauga Dam, and that's like it gets confusing because there was like the Battle of Chickamauga and the city of Chickamauga, and that's all in Georgia. But then you'll still see the word a lot in Chattanooga.
The lake of like the Tennessee River that turns into the lake, as they call it after the dam, is Chickamauga Lake or whatever. But that's on the Tennessee side. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess it's named after the Chickamauga Indians, which like used to spell it with a T up front. Like I remember seeing that on some of the plaques, and I'm like, I have no idea how to begin even like explaining that one. But
yeah, that makes sense with like a lot of the Georgia names are either like the Chickamauga or like Cherokee stuff, or
I had to go be a dad.
Originally. No, that's cool. Yeah.
Alden, you look like you drink milk with dinner. Is that something that
I hate milk with dinner. That's so funny. You know, I was just talking about this. I was telling my girlfriend because we had like beer with pizza or something, and I was like, I used to have I don't care what it was. My mom made us drink milk with dinner as kids, and I haven't had milk with dinner in so long. This is like the hair rebel thing where I'm like, I will not drink milk with dinner. She used to serve it with like spaghetti, which is like so weird. Like,
oh, dude, that is a big like middle class white trash. Like,
it was
milk and pasta, like pasta with milk. That's it. My wife loves milk and pizza.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
The school lunch,
pizza,
like that's.
It was, yeah, it gets in there, man. I don't know, milk and
bad school lunch though. Like,
oh, it's horrible. Yeah, and then there's sometimes it's like strawberry.
It was just like square bread.
Yeah,
it was good. Like sometimes you crave trash pizza for some reason.
Every once in a while, yeah.
Oh man, I'm thinking about the summer, like as it's summertime, and then my kids are now the age where like I remember being, like, and I'm like, oh man, I can't tell you how many lean cuisine French bread pizzas I could crush.
Yeah,
sitting home alone with that, watching Jerry Springer and just like
daytime TV in the 90s. And,
oh yeah, dude, it was just nothing but talk shows like Jenny Jones and just all tremendous.
It was either
Sally
like
Jesse Raphael
Judy type stuff, or like Jerry Springer type stuff, or like Oprah type stuff. Like those are like the three DNAs of talk, or of the talk style daytime TV shit that we grew up with. It was either a courtroom or a brawling session, or like a talk therapy kind of thing with like Dr. Phil or something. Like, so weird.
Oh, tremendous. Do you like the smell of fresh asphalt?
No. Oh my God, no. It smells like wet burnt tuna or something. It's so bad. I hate it.
What an odd endorsement.
It is an awful smell. It smells like fish oil. It's so bad. I specifically despise fresh asphalt and wet, hot pavement. Like if it rains on a summer day on the road and you're like fishing on a bridge or something, I hate it.
Well, so I love so like the smell of diesel exhaust and like hot pavement. That's the smell of vacation.
Yeah, I don't mind the smell of the diesel exhaust for some reason. But I don't like the wet, like new asphalt, like where they're paving it and you're driving through. I like hold my breath through those. Like I hate it. Yeah, I think it just smells like caustic though.
You hold your breath.
Yeah,
I can see that. You look like you shut your refrigerator door with your hips.
You spend a lot of time smelling these things, buddy, because that might explain a little bit more.
What?
Yes,
I'm just wondering if you spend a lot of time like huffing, asphalt and diesel exhaust or anything. But
no,
eating
it's
lead
just
paint and
fun questions. Like it's fun to find out what people associate with and how they do things, and
I have HSP, which is like it highly sensitive person or whatever. So like smells and things are super amplified for me.
Sure.
Things that are like chemically smelling drive me crazy. I don't even usually wear like cologne or anything because like I just can't handle strong smells or whatever. I love like the smell of like food and natural stuff, and but like asphalt, no, not that one. That one's too much. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, have you ever ordered something and then it came from China and you open the package? Yes. That is awful. Whatever that smell is. I'm dealing with that
right now, where I have a gun case and I'm trying to like kind of like use it to move my guns, and I'm like, it smells so bad.
I have no idea what y'all are talking about.
When you get like flip flops or something and you open them and you're like, whoa, like it smells like really toxic smells.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, but you must not be as like offended by it and sensitive to it or whatever.
I got 3 kids.
You're like, I've changed 3 sets of diapers for years. Like, nothing bothers me. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have kids yet, so like that might
well,
be
also like what we order, like the only packages we're opening is stuff from Amazon.
Right.
Like I don't buy anything cool. Like I just picked out what I wanted for my birthday, which is coming in 2 weeks, and like My wife was just like, "Cool, I'll just get it. I don't."
What is it? What's your spoil you day kind of thing?
Oh, a cooking knife.
There you go. Yeah, like a good chef's knife. What
So
style?
I
German
found,
or
like-
Japanese or?
So it's a hybrid knife. It's like
That's what I want to get. That's funny.
So it is. So take like a cleaver.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like
The taller blade, yeah.
Right. But make it small. Like,
Okay.
Make it short, and then curve it a little bit.
So it has
And
a bit
add,
of a belly on it.
Yeah, and it's got like a little bit of chef's knife tip on it, or it's inverted so you can do that. But it's got a little bit.
So you can still rock with it. You know? Yeah.
And it's kind of big for like scooping. You know,
I was just gonna say now you can use it as like don't scrape flat, but you can still scoop at an angle.
Yeah, I bought my dad a they they got a killer offer on their house a couple years ago in Florida, and they always wanted to be
Florida's
RVers.
blowing up, man. That's what I'm from.
They always wanted to be RVers, so now like they RV, like they're
That's
all
funny.
about
That's
it.
what my parents are. They're in Florida, and I think that they're gonna do the RV life here in a couple of years. That's funny.
Oh, dude, it ruled. Like there's all like it's. I mean, I don't mean this as a pejorative, but like I think our generation, like YouTube and podcasts, is generally around either politics or comedy. Like those seem to be the main. Their boomer is like the RV travel video.
Oh, that's
like it's huge.
And it's one of those things where if you get into it, you almost have to make that your life because things are always breaking, and like you don't want to call somebody out to fix some like little thing on an RV, so you learn about it.
Well,
that's actually kind of a libertarian thing too, is to be like independent and be able to do your own thing and take care of yourself. And go ahead.
It's sort of like my dad's horses. Like they're really into them because they take up so much of your time.
Yeah. My dad is a certified like travel trailer inspector or whatever, so he gets to go to all the conventions and like all that. They keep calling them rallies. I'm like, get lower, like, but they're kind of in good company because like that's all that's out there is just all those rich Trump boomers with just spending all their money, their inflated money that they got. You're welcome.
I would say my in-laws, but I'm not like married, but we've been together for 8 years. But so it's essentially, my girlfriend's parents, but they have a tool store and they sell, tools to like more like on the commercial side of things. And they go to every single one of the like conventions for like Milwaukee and DeWalt and all of that or whatever. They travel all over the country and do them. And they have a bunch of like raffles and stuff, and they like, give away like tools and cars and crazy shit. And they do every single one. They were just out in like Phoenix doing one, but they can get crazy with those things, man. I don't know.
Well, I finally figured out. So because my dad was going to do that, I bought him. It's called a Siberian chef's knife. So
what's that? I don't know what that's.
It's kind of like a giant cleaver.
Is it the moon-shaped one?
No, it's like
the
a normal
Alaskan thing.
Like, so take a normal cleaver.
There you go, yeah.
And then, so it's real big.
Oh,
golly, I could never be a weatherman. And then,
such a good comparison.
And then, but you make it a chef's knife tip. But it's it's big.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So it's like you can turn it and smash it. You can.
Is it? I was just gonna say
because he does like because he's doing like Blackstone cooking. Because there are beers. Oh, Blackstone! It's like a big cast iron propane flat top.
Oh, cool. Okay.
That like all the RVers use. Like it's a bit like you can like you have to season it up like a cast iron can, but like you fire it up with propane and you can get it screaming hot.
Oh yeah.
So like, and then to clean up, you just scrape it and just.
Does it have a little grease vat?
It does, yeah. But you can like you don't have to if you're like RV, like you just throw it in the grass and stuff like that too. But they're really like heavy duty rail made stuff. So like that's why I got that.
That's cool. I like it.
They have to pare down so man, I have to my sister has no help, so I have to figure out like come Christmas time what to get them for Christmas because like we can't get them stuff anymore.
Right. Because you need a tool that does a specific job and it does it really well, and it might even do 3 jobs. But
they don't have room. Like they don't have room. They live in an RV.
But you need a knife,
Yeah. So that's
a
that's
good
why I
one.
got them. So this is a smaller version of that because I do some of that, as Zach has witnessed at the inaugural Great Create Fest.
You were down for
I
that?
lived
That's
in an
cool.
RV for 2 years.
You owned one for
did?
2 years?
I lived in one for 2 years.
Lived
yeah.
in one. That's cool. Yeah.
Is that when you grew your hair out?
I mean, it's part of the time.
It's it's a prerequisite.
Why
it
did
was
you
fun.
do that?
Me and my wife wanted to. We wanted to travel more, and we like both have remote jobs, and it was like even more flexible at the time. So we bought an RV in a hot spot and just went on the road. And like you couldn't even really tell that we were on the road most of the time. It's just working from a different location.
How far did you guys end up like kind of traveling around with it while you had it those couple of years?
We mainly were just on the East Coast, so from Florida to Maine and then to Texas and just everything in between. But we didn't make it all the way out west, partially because like my RV scared me a little bit. I'm like, are we gonna get stuck in out west or something? But it held up, and now it's kind of rotting in my backyard. But
yeah, as a lot of them end up doing. Yeah. I feel like you either are really committed and you live that life, or it rots in the backyard. Like there's barely an in between for RV life.
Yeah. Well, I still want to fix mine up again, but like they are not meant to be lived in for 2 years, especially not at the price point we paid. So it's like these are just falling apart left and right while you're living in it.
A lot of people say that. Yeah.
Dude, my dad makes a lot of money, so he is. So what's going on is lenders, when you want to buy a house, most of them will want your home to be inspected. So they have some.
Right?
So they have, just so the lender has some due diligence of like, I'm not lending, like this isn't gonna go. We're not lending you a termite ridden shit box, like So they also started like much of the boomers, like in their generation, a lot of these RVs and stagecoaches and all these things, like they are the price and more of a home.
Yeah.
So they want some sort of something. And like home inspectors are like, yeah, there's a lot more in this than I'm comfortable with. So like there's a whole program that my dad's involved with that does all that. But even new ones, like even they're cheap, like just because they're lightweight, like because it's kind of like by design because they have to be lightweight. But like it's still people, like they're still handmade. Like I don't want to say handmade, but like they're hand put together. Like they're not
or whatever. Like,
there's not Johnny Five robots like like the cars and stuff. So like he will inspect new ones because like they're backed up, like they're everywhere is backed up on these things. And like he will inspect new ones where like the plumbing's not even connected at the bottom of the sink.
Oh wow, that's
like it's just like
that's bad.
It's just because like man, it's like people are overworked and that's the Friday afternoon one. Like
yeah, right.
I mean
the Friday
nuts. He
afternoon.
said like if you want to make money, go to the technical school to be like a handyman fixer, a certified fixer of travel trailers. He goes, you could go to any like RV world and just name your price to work. Like because so many people are doing it. Because it's the boomers spending all their money.
Yeah.
And then it's people that look like Zach and his cool wives and stuff, like, and Jake and all those, like it's two generations of people doing it now. It's not just old people. It's both generations that are doing it.
Right, it's expanding. Yeah. Jake does work on vans, but he does like the kind of like interior decorating and layout, but not like mechanically. And that's what's tough about like vans and RVs is that like it's both. It's like a house and a car, and there's both sides you want functioning well. So like if your sink isn't hooked up, that's bad, but also if your transmission goes out, that's equally bad. Like
I wasn't worried about my engine so much. It's got like a Ford engine in it, and nobody drives their RV very much. So when I bought it, it had like 40,000 miles on it.
That's not bad.
But it was like 16 years old or something. So everything.
Is it one of those EcoBoost like transits or something, or?
No, it's it was a 1999 Sun Voyager. I forget even like. I don't know.
That's right, because it's an RV,
not a
van.
Yeah.
I don't know what engines are in their RVs.
Ours was a Ford V10. That's all.
10? Dang.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was an odd number.
Is that pretty common actually in RVs? Probably because you got to move so much weight, or
Most of them. I mean, that size, yeah, but most of them are diesel for economy, for moving weight.
right?
For moving weight.
I like diesels; they last a long time.
Right.
The diesels would definitely blow by us on the interstate. Like if there's a slight hill, I'm going up at like 30 miles an hour, and they're just cruising along.
The diesels have torque for days, man. Yeah.
What are some of the topics that we're not qualified for that we can take through?
Well, we can move on. Let's talk about something.
Yeah, what's next here?
So the next one is, since we were talking about Snowden and the leaks and stuff earlier, unfortunately.
Oh, I missed that episode. I was sad about that.
Well, Daniel Ellsberg, who was kind of the original leaker, he leaked the Pentagon Papers that's credited with helping, kind of bring an end to the Vietnam War because people saw that they were being lied to.
Yeah.
He died, but he did live to the ripe old age of 92. So I figured Stephen would have more to say about this one, but
he probably would. Yeah. Did he say what time he was trying to come on, or does he not know? Which is fine.
I don't think he knew a time. Just he was going to jump on if he could.
No worries. I was just wondering.
Everybody's waiting for Stephen to come on because they was like, "All right, I'm kind of done babysitting, buddy."
Yeah.
Oh no!
You're saving us.
Honestly,
I
appreciate it.
What I found interesting here is just because this is a bit before our time, and we missed some of this. Is that
this is a show on Max? Is that what it's called? I feel like such a douche saying that. Is that what it's on?
I'm not familiar.
Wait, real life question: is it HBO? Is now Max, or is it now two separate things again?
Here's what I know: the app is no longer HBO Max. The app is Max because when you go into it, it's HBO stuff and all their other offshoot stuff.
Okay.
So they're kind of like HBO still exists as just a HBO Studios, and we gotta play movies on
like one branch on the tree that is Max now.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I can't keep up with that one, so.
I don't.
Before we move on with that, let's hit the chat for a second because complaining that we're ignoring him. So
who is
Grumpy Gnome?
Yeah.
Oh, Grumpy Gnome. Yeah, okay.
So we were talking about
the comments. Yeah, sorry.
The car thefts. So apparently Kia is handing out free steering wheel locks.
All right, that's
like
a
the
good
club.
move on their part.
Yeah, I think like the club.
Yeah, the old school, yeah. I mean, that's a good move on the manufacturer's part, at least.
That's from Some Quack. And then...
Some Quack, yeah. That's a cool name.
John Johnson on Facebook asked, who's going to be the Libertarian candidate? And we don't know. That's up to the delegates. We just we don't know who's going to be the candidate for Republicans or for Democrats right now because they'll have a primary. We'll have
is it a technical question or like a your guess kind of a thing of like who do you think is going to be the candidate?
Well,
same answer.
Didn't Dave say he knows who it's going to be and it's going to come out soon? Like not who it's going to be, but another person announcing.
Yeah, I did hear on who was that? He was with Craig Pasta on that show where him and Jimmy Dore are kind of the leftists, and every now and then they have on Dave Smith and Clint Russell to be the Libertarians, and they both alluded to saying oh yeah, somebody's going to jump in soon who's going to get a lot of attention, and I have no knowledge of who that would be. But,
I haven't heard of anyone new lately, man.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
I don't know who the Libertarian candidate will be. Depends on who shows up. So
Judge Knapp.
That would be cool. I don't know if he'll do it or not, but that'd be great. But basically the process is you come to the Libertarian Party of Georgia convention, and then you get elected as a delegate to go to the national convention, and that's where people get to vote on who's going to be the presidential candidate. And your weight is a lot more there than it is in a Republican primary or something.
Yeah. So that's I gotta go to the next convention.
And the thing is, unfortunately, going to be in Washington, D.C.
No, I know the national one is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ours. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But the next state one, because I have to. what are the chances of me getting elected as a delegate?
Pretty good. There's like 30 something slots.
Right. I'm just saying, like,
To become a delegate?
Mm-hmm. And then even if you
That's
don't become a delegate at convention, there's like alternates. And most of the time, you know, people show up, they become a delegate, and then they realize they can't go. And a bunch of alternates get promoted anyway.
yeah, because I want to go, like, I want to, because, like, I mean, I have a chance to be a delegate, and we're going to DC. So, like, I have a really big vision of, like, all of us on those Bird electric scooters or whatever. And, like, really
20 candidates? That's a lot.
probably, and like really causing like rabble rousing, like me and Will, like Will's coming, like Will's gonna come to the national convention and stuff. Like, it's gonna be so much fun. I can't wait.
That's cool.
It'll be a bunch of rednecks from Georgia at bars with lobbyists and whatever else.
I wonder what leggings I'm gonna wear.
I've never even thought about like being a delegate. I don't know anything about that. Like how temporary.
Oh, I don't
or
either.
permanent
That's
is
why I
that?
want to do it. Because how?
Oh, okay,
hard is
okay.
that? I like you must understand. Like the like, I'm able to tell my parents like, oh no, I'm a delegate. Like I'm a delegate. Like I'm.
Yeah. I think most people wouldn't even know like what that means or like I don't know how much like the term length is or whatever, or like how that works. But I think a lot of people don't even understand the delegate system in our own, you know.
Well,
country.
I just want to like go to the so it's a really good opportunity, but like I want to. So even if I'm not a delegate, I still would like to go because here's something cool we can talk about. Finding a lot of these people on social media, mainly Twitter, like, and even like a lot of people use like avatars and stuff like that. So like I don't know what they look. We don't know what these people look like. A lot of these, and we don't care. We're not interested,
right,
in what people look like. So I'm finding like you'll like fascinating people that have like really neat things to say, and then sometimes you'll find a picture of them, and you're like, whoa. I would have never ever spoken to you. Like, but I mean that like understanding that, but also just like, oh wow, maybe I shouldn't be such a dick about that. But I'm excited to like, if there's going to be a central location to meet all of these people that I've come to somewhat know and have somehow intelligent conversations and dick and fart jokes mixed in,
intermeshed very
carefully.
Like. Yeah. That is what being a delegate's like too, because it's like you're there to do something kind of important, and you're paying attention a little bit to what's going on, and like Robert's Rules of Order.
But there's dick and fart jokes a little.
No, you're on Libertarian, so people are drinking, people are smoking, people are goofing off, and yeah, it's fun. It's whatever you make it. Really, you can show up, you can have a ton of fun. You can show up, you can be very serious and get a lot of business done. I had fun doing it. And, you know, the convention stuff isn't always the most fun, but if you like chess or strategy, it almost is like that. Just like paying attention to the maneuvering and what people are doing. And I don't know, it's all right.
This is not, sorry, I'm on my phone. This is just not comfortable. Sorry.
No, it's all right.
Well, and also the last state convention we had was a lot of fun. So I would very much like to bring that energy to national because I had fun. Are we doing at the next convention? Is that going to be the Great Create 2, or is that going to be?
I think they're going to be separated out this time.
Later. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Robert Brumelo, who's in the comments, he's the one that's planning, you know, primarily spearheading planning convention for next year. And I think it's, you know, we're going to do the Great Create again at some other point next year. Different location, 2 different events. So.
Oh, okay. Okay.
How different a location? Like in the region still, or?
Oh yeah, we're gonna look at a place in Columbus soon, which is still Middle Georgia, but
so not Ohio. Okay.
We don't know. Yeah, it'll definitely be in Georgia. It always is, but
yeah.
Oh, there's a big piece of property out right near Blackshear, Georgia, that we could do something at.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
It's like a big farm with blueberries on it.
We'd have like
Wait,
just
is
the most
this?
dedicated people show up because it is kind of in the middle of nowhere, isn't it?
We can go to Will's Blueberry Farm and drink blueberry wine all day.
Mm-hmm. That would be a fun place to have like a very like even crazier Great Create. Like instead of classes on firearms, we actually shoot guns, and instead of classes on mushrooms, you can actually go trip in his woods or something.
Participate in mushrooms, but not in the same moment as the firearms, hopefully.
Yeah, or in the same location even.
I've got a pretty strict rule about like when I shoot guns that I don't like drink before or anything like that. And but I've never even like thought of that before. Of like, what would it be like to shoot a gun on mushrooms? It's such a weird thought. I don't even think I don't know how I would handle that on mushrooms.
We need to
Not
train
that I know
for that.
that's
What if you get attacked while you're on mushrooms? You gotta.
you got to be armed at all times. Man.
That, I guess that just makes you more secure in your trip because, like, even if something's going wrong, you can be like, "It's okay. I've trained for this.
I've got protection. I won't have a bad trip here." Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even get to like the knife that I'm getting for. I didn't even get to like what I was getting at. Like
for your knife, right?
Yeah. For the style of it.
Yeah,
buddy. Try not to talk into the pillow. You're a little muffled when you do that.
I'm sorry. So I found my way into some like Facebook Reels algorithm of this dude. Well, I noticed that there's two of them, and they always have like they're cooking like almost bushcraft style, like they're cooking like out in the woods, but like
I love those. Yeah.
Yeah, like, and they've always got like a dog with them, like in the background.
Always a dog. Yeah, it's I think it's a law.
So like there's like they've always got a different name, like whoever, like, and it always has like 7 lights. I'm like, this should have
a lot more. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just like they like make tons of, and they just. But I finally found one that he showed the knife, and like I had to like freeze frame it, and it was called.
Now I think you're covering the mic with your hand.
I'm so sorry.
You're good.
It was called Men with the Pot or something like that. And so I looked up the website or whatever, and it's like these 2 Polish dudes that like I guess found each other or whatever, and they in Ireland, and they like just enjoy doing this. So like they make like knives,
yeah,
and like stuff like that. I was just like, because like it's a big thing like in these videos that they don't show their face, like they even like and there's like no reason to other than like I don't
the general
good night,
mistrust or whatever, like
yeah.
Oh, is he heading out?
Yeah.
I know where that is. Which reminds me, with these people showing your face, my brother-in-law, my wife's brother, he is a fisherman in Alaska. And I've always wanted, I thought it'd be the funniest thing to do, to like go to Alaska, and not like a major city, but like kind of like an in-between city, and like whatever hotel I'm at, like, hey man, like, what's like the local bar? Like, not the, the local clamshell where you can get your whatever. Like, what's like the dive? And then like, just get a blue windbreaker, just like in khaki pants, and just walk into that bar and just like, listen up, I'm a federal agent and I got a warrant for it, and then just watch the whole place just disappear. just like
in a small town out there. Yeah.
That's all who's in Alaska. Like this.
I lose so many guns while fishing.
Was he at the convention?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
I'm sure, dude. You missed it. I could have had a sandwich for you.
A sandwich? What kind of sandwich?
The first day I made Philly cheesesteaks.
Ooh, hell yeah!
And
really good.
The second day I made like a quick like
parm.
Yeah, like chicken parm.
Oh yeah, these are
like,
sandwiches.
Because I just had like a flat top. Like I had a little Blackstone flat top.
So
it was just something easy I could do.
That's my kind of sandwich, is That's what's up, man.
No, they were really good too. They were really good.
I'm into that. Yeah,
So
I'm planning to go to the next one. So
I was forgetting to eat, and then Buddy would just shove a sandwich in my hands. So I appreciate that.
yeah,
That's my love language.
Yeah.
And then Will was.
yeah, same man.
Oh man, Will was giving away a lot of product.
The blueberry wine.
Yeah.
There was a lot of dead soldiers at the end of the first night. Like it was
I call them the fallen soldiers too. That's funny. Yeah.
Whoa! I mean, they were everywhere, and
Yeah.
dude, there was. I had to come
I
back
missed out.
in. I had to come back in at night at the end of the first night because like I'd forgot like my wallet or something, like where I had my bag or something like that. We were gonna be there the next morning, and it was like out on the patio, because like we were out there playing cards with like a presidential candidate, Mike Dermott. Like,
Oh, we just talked to him. That's cool.
yeah, dude, he rules.
He's fun.
Like he's a person. He's not a
I
lizard.
agree 100%. Yeah.
Like,
I enjoyed
but there
it
was
thoroughly,
like, there was one dude out there that had been drinking hard all
yeah.
day. And he was just sitting there by himself with sunglasses on. And I just like grabbed my wallet and I was like, yeah, you having a, you good? He's like, hell, see you tomorrow. I was like, I just kind of looked around because like he was outside, like just like on the patio, like, and I went in there like to hurry up before the place closed down. So like I don't know. I was like, bye. I was just gonna stay here, I guess. Bye. I don't know what happened to that person, but whatever.
That sounds like my days of like
Well,
closing
he was
down
our-
the bar. Like,
He hosted the comedy show the next day, so he did live.
He
All
had
right.
yeah.
he's a
Yeah.
veteran, then he's pretty seasoned apparently.
Oh god, it was great. He was great too.
On the comedy or
Mm-hmm.
yeah, right on.
Yeah,
Let's
he
go
had a
back
fun,
to
like
that for a second. So Robert, who's planning the convention, he says he sent. Oh, I already sent that one. He sent out
Yeah.
the invite for our debate today. So I guess there's going to be a presidential debate at the Georgia convention.
Okay.
Grumpy will be delegate gnome. Here's a sad one. Dennis has not gotten an invite because he didn't file with the government.
Who's
See what
Dennis?
else. Anyway, we can't even get into who Dennis is on this episode.
No worries. Okay.
we are Dennis.
Yeah. So I guess when we're talking about the Great Create and convention, there is going to be some Great Create, maybe inspired stuff there. So they're going to be auctioning off a mushroom grow kit, a still.
What kind of mushroom?
Well, I guess it depends on what spores you put in there.
Yeah, I guess. Okay. All right. Yeah.
I don't know if he'll be auctioning the syringes too or not, but
Syringes.
well, sometimes the spores are like come in that liquid in a syringe.
Oh,
Or-
okay. I was like, how do you take your mushrooms?
Yeah, I just
Sorry,
inject-
never mind. I don't know how to grow mushrooms, so I just know how to like eat them. You know,
I've grown like
Cuban cigars.
oyster mushrooms and stuff like that before, and like if you get the bag, it's pretty easy. Like you
I love oysters.
some water and spores, and then mushrooms poop out. So
Oyster mushrooms are good. I like oyster and chanterelle are some of my favorite. But
yeah, I don't even grow chanterelle though. You can only
No.
find them. But
Forage,
my
yeah.
property gets
Guess
a ton
what?
of them.
What
What's
you
up?
just said, that mushroom?
yeah, the
That
chanterelle.
mushroom is found in North England mainly. Like that's like where they're predominantly found. And that is where my last name comes from.
Yeah, what's your last name?
Northern England.
Uh,
Or the, oh,
those are my
chanterelle.
people.
I guess I see that now.
Yeah.
Hey,
Cheers.
Steven.
Whew.
Cheers, man. Good to see
Oh,
you.
Yeah.
finally, somebody with some knowledge about important things.
I've got you guys
Move
fooled.
on.
Yeah, we've been
We've been
talking
vamping
about
this whole time,
mushrooms.
waiting for you.
We've been
All right,
talking
so
about
I'll do
mushrooms,
this.
RVs and guns and random shit, but
Yeah,
Kias.
We
Yeah,
were
we covered
telling Alden about
all
the
these
sandwiches
things.
I made.
Oh, the sandwiches are amazing.
Right? Okay, I missed out for sure.
You missed
then, yeah.
out, Alden. You missed out.
Damn it, yeah. You sound like you know what you're doing, man. That's cool. I cook every day. I love cooking.
I did not get a body like this from working out.
I'm
Well,
on
you
my
do
way,
it
man.
just, one patty at a time, right?
Man, I trust a good chef that has a little extra weight on him, man. I don't trust a chef that's in shape.
Well, like so I had the forethought, like I knew if I was to actually be one, like to go to school for it, I knew I'd hate it. Like, in looking back on it, I was like, oh yeah, I am an anarchist. Like, don't tell me what to do. Like, I'm gonna figure this out on my own.
I noticed
there's a lot of that
name
in it.
here, yeah.
And then also, like, I did want a family. Like, I'm as silly as I am. Like, I'm a dad. I'm a family guy. Like, I live in the suburbs, and I'm like, hey, John, lawn's looking good, partner. I make sandwiches for my kids and his friends. You know, like, I am that dad.
The love language of food.
You seem like the kind of guy that would pass off a buggy at the entrance of the grocery store and say, "I left some gas in it for you."
I walking into the grocery store, I will always come across someone that's just putting the last thing in their car, and I'll just grab their buggy and I'll use that buggy so they don't have to take it back.
Do that too. They're always appreciative, and it's the smallest thing.
So, wow, God, what was I talking about? I got interrupted with.
We were talking about cooking.
So I knew if I were to also be a chef, like kiss a normal life goodbye. Like, I don't.
Yeah, you're working nights, weekends, and especially holidays.
Yeah.
No, and I was just like, oh, I've never seen a happy one either.
Guy Fieri's pretty happy.
Yeah, now.
Is he cooking anymore, or is he just going around eating? You know what I mean? That's why he's happy. Like.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Salt Bay seems pretty happy.
Yeah, those are all like the famous ones. Like like you're seeing like, oh yeah,
not the guy sweating in the back of a kitchen, you know, like every night. Like, yeah.
That's like, yeah, just be a comedian. Like, look at these people; they seem like they're doing all right. I was like, oh, you mean like the 0.001%, like who lived out of their car, like,
yeah,
you know, strong fast.
You got to put in some work with both of these careers, yeah.
I'm living in a house right now with an extra bed. That's insane to me. I have a fridge in the garage. When I was growing up, that was the rich friend. Like,
that's Southern luxury right there.
Like, you spent the night at the rich friend's house if they had the fridge in the garage.
Like, oh yeah, and you could pause TV, and they had Viennetta in the freezer.
The thing for me was a swimming pool. If you had a swimming pool, you were loaded. Like, I did not ever have a swimming pool. We lived in Florida, and I wish I had one. But
see, I'm from the Midwest, so like I can't like that. If you had a swimming pool and you were in the Midwest, like I only knew one person that had that, and he was a retired, world famous World Series baseball pitcher.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So, was it wait? The above ground or in ground? Because there's different levels of Ritz here with the swimming pool.
It was in ground. It was also painted black at the bottom.
Wow.
Oh, gunite.
So it looked really cool. Like, it seems weird, but it looked really cool. But it was also heated too. It was let's see, Stephen might know him. This was out right outside of Omaha, Nebraska. So Bob Gibson, he pitched for the Cardinals. Like in the he hit a grand. He also hit a grand slam in the World Series like in 1969 or something like that. Like,
I don't know baseball.
I probably got his card in a box somewhere.
Like, so I have them too. Like, when we first moved there, my dad saw this RV come flying down the road, like in a neighborhood, like also towing a boat. He was like, Jesus, what the hell is that? And then like he saw the license plate and he was like, oh my word. Like, I know who that is. And then I was like, oh, okay. I don't know.
The local celebrity.
I mean, but like, if you watch a lot of baseball and they'll talk about like fastball pitchers and stuff, they will always reference Bob Gibson.
Oh, okay.
And before that, he was a Harlem Globetrotter. And he was like,
weird.
I don't want to do this anymore. They just dick around too much.
That's what they are. Like,
I'll just be a pitcher for a Nat like.
We can't all be Deion Sanders, Michael Jordan, or Tim Tebow.
Oh, I was about to say, I was like,
Or,
Thanks for throwing one in that's wearing the away jersey. You know what I mean?
Is it Bo Jackson?
Yeah.
Who did the dual sport, but yeah.
I was just saying.
Yeah, Bo Jackson. Yeah, he was going to do all of it.
Yeah, he's actually good at several too. But
I hear he's one hell of a car salesman these days as well.
is that what he does?
Yeah.
That's funny. I didn't know that.
Figured he sells some sort of like disability life insurance or something.
Well, that too. But he's also a car salesman.
Okay.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So, do we want to move on?
Yes, please.
I assume that is a baseball player, but
Yeah,
it's
see, I don't know
also-
baseball that well. Yeah.
I don't either.
That's
so, do we
fine.
want to move on to trivia or a serious topic?
We have enough people.
I'm down for whatever.
All right, let's just do trivia.
What? Oh God. So how do we buzz in?
You just wave your hand.
Yeah,
over
wave
there.
your hand, basically.
Find your camera and then just be like, yeah.
Don't worry, buddy. I'm on a streak of totally sucking at this lately. So,
Dude, I'll watch a little bit of Zane. I'm like, geez, Zane's a robot.
yeah.
Yeah, he's on another level for sure, man. Yeah.
Well, he's not here today, so
So
no
yeah.
one will answer anything.
plus I did kind of try to stack it against him, hoping he would be here, but we'll see.
Wait, so you made these questions, so this isn't like a chat GPT kind of thing, right? Like,
Well, I did use ChatGPT to help me, but
oh, did you? Okay.
I fact checked them all, and yeah.
I need
Let's see.
a swig for my brain here.
All right. So I'm not going to go over the rules. I think we all know it and don't care. So let's just get into it.
Sorry about my creaky chair. Do you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm moving, and this is the only chair I got left, and I'm gonna give it to the thrift when we leave, and it's really bad.
So here's a scoreboard. Zane and Nick, unsurprisingly, are dominating. But
The
they're not
audience
here,
is more
so.
than me. Oh no!
All right, and here is some Georgia trivia, and I don't think this is your standard stuff either. So maybe this will be something you haven't heard before. All right, so just buzz in by raising your hand, and I'll call on whoever I see after I've read the question. So, what profession did the inventor of RC Cola have before becoming a soda maker? All right, any guesses? Buddy.
Dentist.
That's what I was gonna say as an irony point. That's so funny.
No, not a dentist.
Okay, well I won't say it now then. But that is what I was gonna say. Like,
do I lose points for guessing wrong?
No, basically, if no one knows the
blur.
answer, it's just a free for all anyway. Just shout out answers.
We think alike though. That's hilarious. Yeah.
Even.
Farmer.
No, not a farmer.
Ooh, wait.
You want to go, Alden?
Exotic dancer.
No. All right.
Insulin seller.
Let's look at the comments.
See,
real quick.
we're thinking alike. We're like boosting your other business. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So Robert gets it right. He's
No
a
way.
farmer.
Is that
Oh,
right?
wow.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
That's back in the day when they were soda jerks too, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna lose to the audience again. That's all right.
Isn't that wild that you would go to the pharmacy and then also like on the other side, like have like
Is this when RC Cola did RC Cola ever have cocaine in it too, or was that just a Coke thing?
No, you just had RC Cola and a moon pie and you good to go.
That's right.
I don't mind RC Cola actually. I like it better than like some of the other
Georgia State insect.
What's that?
What is the Georgia State insect?
I feel like I should know this.
Alden.
A locust?
Nope.
I've never
Usually
even heard of a
things
state
are
insect.
celebrated, so that would be odd. Buddy.
Cicadas?
No.
That made sense to me too, though. Yeah.
Got something, Steven?
Beetle.
Nope.
What kind of beetle?
The Beatles. It is a honeybee.
Are there like
All
sports
right.
teams that are named the honeybees in Georgia somewhere or something? I didn't even know there was a state insect. Like I knew there was a flower and like a bird and
a
like
tree.
a fruit or a tree or something, but I did not know about a bug. So
Wow.
Yeah, there's yellow jackets. There used to be hornets. Well, I guess that's I don't know. There's everything but the honeybee for sports teams in Georgia. All right. Getting a little deeper. Let's see. Which religious group, led by Dwight York, constructed pyramid-like structures on their compound in Putnam County, Georgia in the 1990s? Buddy.
The Masons?
Nope. Steven.
Oh.
The Rosicrucians.
Don't think so. Unless that's another name that
That's not a real
not
thing.
familiar with, but I don't think so.
You mumbled something. That's not real.
Alden.
Southern Baptists?
No, just mega churches, but
I have no idea.
it is.
I really don't. What?
Nuwabian Nation or the Nuwabians.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I was just saying because the Georgia Guidestones, didn't they have RC Christian etched in the bottom corner of one of them?
I don't know.
Didn't someone blow those up recently?
Yeah.
They either that or
After
lightning
trivia.
struck. Who knows?
After
But-
trivia, I'll ask you your take on that. But
Yeah. But I think after this group moved out, they just bulldozed, like the county bulldozed all of it because they're like, please don't come back. No more
The
crazy
pyramids, they
or anybody
bulldozed?
coming to take these pyramids. Just get out of here.
And in Putnam
That's
County, of all places.
Yeah.
where's Putnam?
At Middle Georgia.
Yeah.
I wish they
doesn't-
wouldn't say the cat like they. I hate saying the county as if like, oh, okay, right. Georgia has the most counties.
I lived
That's
in Georgia.
that's
Yeah,
not
I think-
helpful to anybody.
I think.
But Putnam County is that's where Eatonton is. So I don't know if you heard Uncle Remus,
That's no
you know,
more
the tales
helpful,
of Brer Rabbit and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they actually have Brer Rabbit in front of the courthouse. But this is
Okay.
also Georgia trivia, so I don't want to give away too much.
Yeah, I don't know the counties of the places I live in like half the time, so I don't know.
But you
I'm
said
not
there's
good with
not
counties.
a major city to reference. So you got to go with
I
one or the other.
know Macon. Like, is Macon near there? Like,
There you go. So an hour east of Macon.
okay, see, like now I can conceive of where that is. So
Yeah.
all right, moving on. Sorry.
Robert says they think Egyptians were African and were Jews.
Both.
No? All right,
Well,
next
I mean-
question.
What level of Egyptian though? Like dynastic Egyptians or prior to dynastic Egyptians? Because
Have
then
no
they might
idea.
be right.
Like the Cleopatra Egyptians.
Well, then probably not so much.
The monastery of the Holy Spirit in Conyers belongs to which religious order? Stephen,
Catholics.
more specific.
Roman Catholics.
More specific.
Orthodox Roman Catholics.
Okay, you're not. Let's go, buddy.
Shiite Catholics.
Closer, but Alden. Sorry, I
If
didn't
there's-
realize that these were.
If there's one
Super
thing I
boring.
know less of than anything we've covered so far, it's religion. So like I don't even know. What's the Greek Orthodox? Like, is that a
Looking
thing?
like a man that holds his nose when he jumps in water.
I haven't jumped in water in a while, but I'm like, do I?
Yeah, because you enter in from the steps. I've got you, Alden.
Zing.
I've got
Trying
you.
to figure out what you're asking me for because I bought bonsai trees and fudge from these guys.
It is. Well, here it is. Trappists.
Yes. They also make beer.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
really know what it was all about.
that's
Somebody
how I know
explained it
the
to
word
me that it's
Trappist.
almost like a caucus. Like there's, I don't know, the Trappist caucus of the Roman Catholic Church, and
They
they're
make
like
really
you know,
good
Jesuits or
cheese and
another.
beer. Yeah.
They
Have
also
you
have
had-
a
Go
green
ahead.
cemetery where they'll just wrap you up in like a sheet and bury you and not embalm you or any of that, and you just get buried in the woods.
Yeah, I mean that's the way to do it. I'm fine with that.
Are
Yeah.
these the people that make like the Saint Bernard beer, the Saint Bernardus, or whatever?
Yeah, that's one of the Trappist ales.
These guys don't, but yeah, it's the same
But
type of
That's
monks.
that's
That's
who
like-
the. Oh yeah, when I drink, that's all right.
That's like
All
Belgian
right.
monks or whatever or something. But like, yeah.
Okay. So besides being a place for English debtors to start over, the colony of Georgia served what other their strategic purpose for the British Empire? Stephen.
To put military pressure on the Spanish Empire to the south
I'll
of
take
us.
that. I'll take that. That's basically well, not really. It's a buffer colony. So I guess it
Yeah.
was to buffer the militaries.
Pressure
each
would be
other.
offensive and buffer is maybe defensive, but like
Yeah.
that's fine. Like,
That's why
It was
we got.
both.
That's why we got Texas.
it's a military presence, Like, yeah.
I'm
I'll allow it,
recording
that's
one
fine.
for Steven.
I was gonna say
cotton.
cotton, so like I don't know.
That had a lot to
Alright.
do with us getting Texas to buffer people from the Comanches. They're like, yeah, but
Really?
you handle it. Around here.
So, what event in Georgia prompted Andrew Jackson to sign the Indian Removal Act, Stephen?
Trail of Tears.
Nope, that's
I think that was the part of the act. I think
yeah.
we're looking prior
This
to that.
caused that basically.
Yeah, Trail of Tears was
What caused them to want to remove the Indians, buddy?
The Cleveland Guardians.
Don't think so. Here's a hint. It's every bit as bad as you would think. Just think like what we fight modern wars over.
Oh, casinos.
Closer.
We found gold.
Diabetes.
Yep. That's it.
I was just gonna say it's either oil or gold. Yeah. Was it really
Discovery
gold?
of gold.
Well, so the Trail of Tears started in Cherokee County, and that's so the way the land is split up. The land lots get a lot smaller once you get north of there. So
Because of-
down in South Georgia, they're square miles, just like the sections out west. But once you get up north, it's 40-acre gold lots because it was all when the land lottery was split up. It was all split up based on land value at the time. So a square mile of farmland in South Georgia was worth the same as 40 acres up in the mountains.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I was gonna say if it's not gold, it's oil, and I was like, I haven't heard of either out there, but I guess there's gold.
Yeah,
There's gold in the hills.
There was gold in Dahlonega, Georgia.
Oh yeah.
And I guess the state capital, they have that gold dome. It's all gold that was mined in Georgia.
Mm.
So, but I think I've heard that the amount that's on the Capitol isn't even that much. It's like an ounce or two. It's just hammered so thin. But who knows?
It's like basically gilded or whatever.
I identify with that gold. I know what it's like to be hammered thin.
All right. Next question. What three crops make up the Three Sisters agricultural method used by the Native American tribes such as the Cherokee? Alden.
Corn, squash, and bean.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a system that they use the corn as the stalk to grow the bean on, and then the squash at the base. They kind of symbiotically help.
And you
each
plant a
other.
dead fish when you plant the corn.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, honestly, yeah, the guts or whatever.
The squash it'll keep the weeds out from over and the vines down.
Because it grows on the bottom. Yeah, it's a cool system, honestly.
All right. What is Georgia's largest island? Oh man, that was like at the same time. Let's go.
I think
Alden.
I'll go first, but I think I'm wrong. But I'll say Tybee.
Nope.
Just because I lived out by Savannah, but but I figured Steven has it.
Steven.
Jekyll.
That's what I thought was the real answer.
Not Jekyll.
It's not
either.
also? No way. Buddy, you gotta
Buddy.
get us. You live out there, bro.
I ain't got island money. St. Simon's.
No, is that even Georgia?
I don't even.
Yeah,
know
it
what
is. Yeah.
I think that's right.
Okay.
It's right by Sea Island. It's right by Jekyll.
Okay, no,
What
not
is this?
St. Simons. So
Cumberland.
Yep, it's Cumberland.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
It's right by there too.
Wild horses.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that. It's been
All
10
right.
years since I've lived out there.
And that was where, what was the rich people that lived on that island? The not Rothschilds,
The Rockefellers.
Rockefellers. Yeah, they had
Yeah.
mansions on the island. They'd get giant blocks of ice brought down.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I think they
It's
were-
a very.
Some of the horses were theirs. Like I think they were there before too, and they bred with the old horses.
It's very like great.
Well, and
Gatsby out
who shot Aaron Burr?
there.
Or who did Aaron
shot
Burr shoot?
Hamilton.
Hamilton.
Yeah.
That's right. So Aaron Burr hid in St. Mary's.
Did he?
I believe so, because there was one of those famous duels.
Because he's a dirty.
The
dude.
victor actually ran down there to St. Mary's, which is the jump spot to get to Cumberland Island.
Yeah, Burr
there's-
cheated, shot Hamilton, and then I think fled. Yeah.
Yeah.
He thought it would boost his political career if he won, but if everyone found out he cheated that it backfired and
Right.
it did not have the effect that he wanted. So.
All right.
I've never seen Hamilton. There's a bit of trivia.
This one is a trick question, so I'm sorry. I now realize how hard these questions are. I don't think anyone's going to get this one, but swamp gravy from Colquitt, Georgia refers to what?
I mean, I'm going to let someone else guess first. I have no idea.
Steven.
It's going to go out on a limb here. Sandy loam.
No.
What kind of soil?
Oh, nice.
Loamy soil.
Dang.
Yeah.
Class
Like
2
hummus.
soil. Very good.
Yeah.
Any more guesses?
Gravy. Like, does it come from the swamp or does it resemble the swamp? Is it a product
Is that a local
of
brewery?
It's not a local brewery, no. You got to guess.
Gravy?
The Dalbaching of swamp gravy.
I mean, like, possum shit? Like, I have no idea, like, what this would be.
It refers to a play.
What? Okay, I would never have gotten a play ever in my life.
Possum shit would be more like swamp diarrhea. Like,
yeah.
like
Apparently, Colquitt has a big history of storytelling, so they put that all together in a play, and it's like their town play about their town.
It's called Swamp Gravy?
Yep.
How very Hallmark movie.
Like biscuits and gravy or something, but
Uh-huh. My granddad used to call biscuits and gravy with like shit on a shingle, like that was basically so. Anyway,
all right. So, what species of crustacean can be found in the pools on Stone Mountain, Stephen?
Crawdads.
Nope.
Oh no, really? That was
Yeah.
what I was gonna say.
Alden.
Grass shrimp?
Maybe. It is shrimp. I'll just kind of give it to you.
Maybe.
But it's fairy shrimp.
It's the little, okay, so grass shrimp
Yeah.
is the colloquial that fishermen use when they were talking about them as bait, but that's what a grass shrimp is. Yeah.
Well, the fairy shrimp will grow in like the woods. They'll just be in these pools that come up during the winter, and then they'll live in the early spring, and then the pool will dry up, and their eggs will survive. And then come back next
they
year.
survive the thaw thing or whatever. They go dormant or what. That's so cool, but
Yeah,
they also
so-
are good bass bait, you know. So
Yeah. And there was a new species of it in like 1943 discovered on Stone Mountain, and now it's the Stone Mountain fairy shrimp, but it's never been seen again. So I guess they didn't do their dormancy very well.
Sounds like one of our presidential candidates. Moving on.
Yeah, and then Robert said fairy shrimp are sea monkeys. I think that is another name for them, but
Oh, you don't say.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, I think
is that right? Okay, yeah. I always
new
thought
round. Hopefully this one will be easier. So it's about psychedelics. 2
Woohoo.
points each, 5 questions.
True.
So the psychedelic 5-MeO DMT is found in high concentrations in the venom of what North American animal, Alden?
It's like a Sonoran desert toad or something like that. But
Yep, Sonoran desert toad.
Wow.
yeah,
That was like Zane level getting it right too.
yeah. And I honestly just saw 5-MeO and then an animal, and I was like, the Sonoran desert toad. I don't know, whatever. I'm apparently a drug.
That's
nerd.
what I think,
You were
too.
Right.
Every
I'm
time.
frustrated that Zach called it. He was like, "You might do well in this." And I was like, "We'll see." And then I'm like, "Okay, I guess I'm a stoner burnout. I guess I don't know. I've never done it, but."
So what is the name of the hypothesis suggesting that early human evolution was influenced by psychedelic substances, Alden?
It's like the laughing ape or something like that. Or it's
That's
where
not it.
monkeys ate mushrooms kind of thing. I thought it was funny ape or laughing ape or something. Go ahead. I think Buddy's
Buddy.
Stoned
Yep.
ape theory.
Stoned ape, damn it. Oh man.
Stoned
That's
ape
what it is,
theory.
yeah.
Helps with visual acuity. It helps with language development. It just they
And
think that aided
neuroplasticity.
in when the size of the brain doubled in like a quick evolutionary time.
In an unprecedented period of time that we've never seen in any other animal before or since or whatever, which is odd, but yeah, stoned ape theory. Anyway,
All right.
damn it, I'm frustrated I missed that.
All right. Which substance derived from the bark of a West African shrub is used in traditional spiritual practices for its potent psychedelic effects? I saw Alden.
Is this also DMT, but just not 5-MeO DMT?
Well, that would be the chemical. Well, I guess that's not right. I don't know.
Okay.
Well,
that might be in there, but
I think
not.
it's. I don't know what it's called, but okay, so it's not like ayahuasca because that's South America. But so I don't know what the local name is, but the substance I thought was DMT.
All right, Steven, I saw next. You still?
Salvia divinorum?
No.
Oh.
No, that's a leaf.
And then Buddy?
More in the tropics.
Is it the acacia bush?
No. I think once you hear it, you're going to remember. Probably.
The acacia bush also has DMT, though. You know.
Yeah. I actually don't think this one is DMT. It's its own substance.
Okay. What is this?
It's iboga.
Oh, ibogaine.
Yeah. Ibogaine is the chemical, and then iboga, I think, is the plant. So, or the shrub.
Is this the thing that they use to get people like off of like addictions?
Yeah.
Ibogaine.
Yes.
No, that's kratom.
No.
Alden's
correct.
Kratom.
Alden's correct.
Yeah,
Okay.
ibogaine is to. It helps
kratom
people get...
is something that you do instead of.
Yeah, right, exactly. In lieu of,
which is also addictive and destructive.
Exactly. You got to be careful with it. Yeah.
Apparently, it's you have 24 hours of your body humming, and it's not pleasant.
Yeah.
It's not as visually as ayahuasca is.
Right.
But they say like coming out of that, you are. I don't want to say fixed, but.
Is ibogaine, is it not legal here, but it's like legal in Canada and Mexico, and so people go to different places to do it, and I think it has like
and Portugal.
80, is that right? Well, everything I guess is, but
yeah,
I think it has like an 80+% success rate on the first period of use, like the first session with it or something, which is like really high for
it's not
getting unhooked off of something. But
it's not for pleasure. Like it is.
No.
It is a hallucinogen that is medicinal. Like that is that's not the stoner. Like it's my medicine. Like this
it's my medicine every day, twice a day. No, it's to get you off of other things. I've heard is what it's most effective at. But anyway,
next question.
All right.
I didn't realize that's where that came from. But.
So, which psychedelic drug is the primary active compound found in the peyote cactus, Steven?
Mescaline.
Yep,
yeah.
mescaline.
I wasn't fast enough, but that is correct.
All right, last one on psychedelics. Which fungus known to cause hallucinations when ingested is believed to have contributed to the hysteria during the Salem witch trials? Alden.
Oh, okay. I put my hand up because I know it. It's oh my god, give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna be so mad. I fucking know it. I'm gonna be so mad.
Yeah, it's another one we don't see it, but I think I saw Steven next.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay, well, so him being confused got me confused now. I'm just gonna throw out psilocybin.
No.
Okay.
I got it.
Ergot.
Can I go?
Yeah.
Damn it!
No, Buddy got it.
It is ergot. I know that I didn't want to play it because I know that I like had my chance. But it is the ergot. It's a fungus. Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, it causes hallucinations, and people were saying that it caused people to look witchy, which I don't exactly know what that means, but they would act weird and look weird. So.
I'll give you a bit of trivia on this. So the ergot fungus was growing in the wheat, and then the problem was that their test for rye wheat, their test for it was that they had, if someone was experiencing, like say a woman was experiencing these like seizures and convulsions and whatever, they thought she was a witch. Their test was pee on this loaf of bread. And then they fed the bread to the dog, and if the dog exhibited symptoms, then she was a witch. But the bread was the problem. So then so the dog would go through the same seizures. Anyway,
no placebo.
No placebo.
I know. The spies are all over again.
There's no controls in this experiment. Like
clearly, they should just be testing whether or not she floated.
Oh.
Yeah, she's a duck.
To me, it sounds like you're not trusting the science, Alden. So.
The Salem witch trial science? Yeah, I don't trust that science.
All right, round 3. I just said future, but really that doesn't even cover it. But it's only 3 questions, so let's go with it. So what term is used to describe the hypothetical moment when artificial intelligence surpasses human intelligence? Buddy.
Singularity?
Yep, singularity.
It's either that or Skynet, you know.
Yeah. All right. What is the name of the theoretical megastructure?
Wait, what?
Yeah, he just kind of lagged out.
Megastructure.
Compass a star. Caption.
Oh, is this like in the
Star Killer
Avengers?
base? Where it like sucks the star's energy.
Theoretical megastructure. This is like the Forge and the Avengers or something. I think Zach is frozen though.
Yeah, he is.
I just hear some weird like Zelda trivia music going on. We'll wait for Zach to get back. But...
Okay, so let's hop to a serious topic until he gets back.
Yeah.
Did you guys already talk about the Supreme Court ruling today?
No, I just saw your.
No, oh my gosh, we
covered this
didn't.
Yet, but...
Okay, so
how does this work with
affirmative action got struck down at the colleges, and of course, my whole thing was, the colleges were ordered to hashtag stop the Asian hate, because that's really what it was. The Asian student groups have repeatedly sued our Ivy League schools. We're talking Harvard, Yale, Stanford,
UCLA.
all this kind of. Do what?
UCLA has a big one.
Yeah. And they have 4.0 GPAs, just flawless student records, and then they don't get in because all of a sudden, we didn't meet our minority quota, and they're like, but I am one. What are you talking about?
Yeah, not in college.
Right. So I like the way the Brits refer to it as positive discrimination, because let's be honest, that's at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's still a form of discrimination.
Yeah.
You can't call something the Sunshine and Rainbows Act if it causes you to blot out the sun for half the population. So
yeah.
Okay. I'm back. My internet died or something. I'm on hotspot again, but. All right,
we filled the time.
Any guesses for this one? Steven?
Oh crap! The vacuum guy, Dyson something.
Very close.
He's close.
Yeah.
He is really. So is it? So it's Hoover then.
Threw you off with the vacuum. Yes.
Yeah.
Dirt Devil.
Any last guesses?
Yeah.
All right. It is Dyson Sphere.
I mean, I'm tempted to give Steven half points. That's pretty cool. Give him half. So, I don't know how to do that, but if you have the way, I vote give him half. The
he's now at
half.
6.5 points.
Yeah.
All right. Last one.
Because I didn't know that. So.
And I think, let's see. Either Steven or Buddy could win. Alden, I did stack it in your favor, and you still can't win. But
no, I know. It's all right. If I were taking a test with this, I do okay. I don't do as well with the live thing or whatever, but the pressure makes me we were kind of talking about this earlier. I don't want to get too into this, but when under the pressure, yeah, Robert knows it apparently. My brain truly blocks myself. The ergot fungus thing, I totally knew. I've seen a whole special on it. I have a thing, but I just cannot recall it under pressure. I don't know why.
Sure.
I hate myself for it, but yeah, it's okay.
That's
my little. That's all I'll say about it. I'm sorry. That's
my girlfriend goes to a different school. You don't know her. It's all good.
Last one.
Yeah.
What is the nickname given to the unidentified flying object encountered by Navy pilots in 2004 due to its oblong shape, smooth white exterior? Alden?
The Tic Tac.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tic Tac.
If they were all about that, I would be okay, maybe.
Buddy won 8 points.
I won?
Normally we say you get to, you won 8 points.
All right.
You got the high value stuff.
The guest win, yeah. I thought the last ones were worth more, or they were? Okay.
3. Or they were 3 or more. I don't know. Whatever. Buddy won. But
we don't know. Buddy win. That's okay. We can let Buddy win. That's fine.
Yeah, usually we just say that you get to choose the next topic, but I don't think we've ever actually done that. So
we've been saying that, and then I don't think that actually happened.
Zane did a couple of times.
Did he really? Okay.
Yeah, or at least once.
Can someone quickly give a quick Cliff's Notes version of what happened at Porkfest with Jeremy calling the dude a loser?
Yep, I can pull it up. Probably.
Like I saw, I had pulled up a video, and it was like very long, and then I saw I guess it's the Smots clip
I'll
version.
pull it up.
Of it.
I clipped the relevant 60 seconds, so let's watch that real quick.
You're such a hero, Zach.
I was showing that to a friend of mine earlier today, so it just happened to work out. If I can find it. Give me a minute. So talk amongst yourselves.
All right,
I have a nickname for Nick. I have a nickname for Nick.
So
for Nick? Okay.
So,
he's Liberty Hodor.
Oh, that's perfect.
Oh my god. I'm not even going to ask an explanation because I feel like that's too far.
No, because Nick is a mountain of a man. He's a man.
I've never met him in person.
He comes from he can't fit through door. He comes from winners.
He comes from winners.
I'm talking in battle.
Winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah. He has a great grandfather that has drank liquid from human skulls for sure.
All right, so here is the clip. And just to set it up, this guy that we're looking at right now, he gives about a 10-minute, maybe it looks like 6-7 minute speech.
Which is too long, right?
Yeah, it was pretty long. It got long. And in that, he covers everything. He talks about how he's anti-vax and his kids died or something because of a vaccine, he says.
Oh.
And then he reveals that they were taking trans hormones or something. And then he kind of reveals that he wasn't legally allowed to see them. And it was very odd. And the guy does seem like a legitimate crazy person.
Now, speaking of science and controls and experiments, there's a lot going on there to say that that's the vaccine. And I'm not pro-vaccine, but
yeah.
But wasn't this you have it's a soapbox thing? So
yeah,
it's rant for your idol thing. So he was.
That's what
it wasn't like he stormed the stage or something, but he got on stage and he had some of the crowd, I guess, with him, but he just seems like a little bit of a crazy person.
I think he ran the light.
The idea is that the three people in the back, which one of them's Jeremy and then one of them's Aria Di Mezzo, they rate you or something, just like it's American Idol.
Sure.
Okay.
Let's watch Jeremy's reaction. Oh crap! I did the whole thing.
Yeah, you had it queued up, I think.
Let me try that again.
Oh my goodness! Bring in Liberty Hodor.
Are you all about to hate me, man? Because you might be a captivating guy, but I think you're completely fucking insane. I think you're completely fucking insane. And I think all of you who want to associate libertarianism with anti-vax bullshit, you can do it. You won't get me along for the fucking ride. Because it is bullshit. I have a degree in physics. I've gone through the science. I have looked at it. And anyone who wants to bring the fucking facts
physics.
Get with me.
They make medicine now?
To take an unpopular position when there is one. And this is the correct position. The vast majority of vaccines work. They save lives. I don't know what happened to your daughter, man, and I'm sorry to be harsh to you on stage like this because I am sorry. That's a terrible thing. Terrible.
You're sober. You're fucking sober.
Yeah, sure. Perfect, man. Let's have a factual discussion.
Yeah, I don't know what physics has to do with it, really.
Right.
Other than what it has to do with literally everything.
But that was really the most heated 60 seconds. He just starts yelling that he's a loser, and they yell over each other, and the guy's saying Jeremy's drunk, and
somebody's always got a doctor in the family or whatever,
Yeah.
My grandma got cured from polio because she got the shot. There's always one of those at least when that kind of stuff gets debated that, they're going to throw that out there. And it's always some kind of platitude about oh, well, you don't even know how to research and you're just dumb. Yeah, you've got a Google degree. There's like 4 phrases they pick and choose from.
Right. I didn't hear what this guy said, but I probably would disagree with both of them in a way of like what information they're bringing up or how they're choosing to kind of go about, like, you know, talking about it. But what do you got, buddy?
Jeremy is very, despite him being like Jeremy, he says things like that to also like, and I understand this because I take things like I do things seriously, just in an unserious manner. Like that doesn't mean I don't like understand the weight of situations. But I think so when he says things like I have a physics degree or whatever, I think he's trying to assert that like I'm not, like sometimes he'll have to assert like I'm not just an idiot.
Right,
like,
okay.
And he also has to say like, because a lot of the anti-vax people,
right,
they are they run the
gamut. I mean, we're talking
right.
you go from Oilers to Christian Scientists to people that put onions in their socks when they have a head cold.
So when it's the anti-vax guy that's also talking about this, that's also like, and it's probably like Alden, you were saying, like being like a pretty sensitive guy, that tends to be a lot with artists. It also tends to be a lot with addicts.
Are you aware of
people?
My life because you're kind of describing me?
Well, it's me too. It's me too. Yeah, like. But there's
we only just met, but I feel like you're cutting at my core, you know?
No. So hear me out on this. So, because that's who I am too. In the Libertarian circles, you probably have a lot of those people there at Porkfest.
Right.
That dude's probably like putting off an energy that people like us can really feel. That some normie people, they're like, well, he's just talking about this, like, yeah, but our lizard brains are on high. Like this dude, he's up to like he's not well, and not the fun kind of not well. Like
not the fun kind.
Like you know, just like oh, that if he like unzipped and like pulled out a gun and was like, and I'll just end it here, like that feeling of just like, oh, that could come next. Like
the discomfort of like where it's not as civil and it's not as predictable,
and so like
yeah.
Jeremy's really standoffish. It seems like he doesn't want, like as crazy as he is, he does not want the Libertarian Party to just be a complete freak show of just,
you know. And if I were more
dancing naked fat guys, I mean,
right.
Yeah, the Libertarian Party, like in that way, I think I would be a little protective about that as well. And there's a risk of that kind of just happening when you are outside of the main 2 spheres here, and you attract, I think, a lot of people that are misfits or whatever, and sometimes that is ones that are misfits for the reasons that are less attractive, you know, and I feel like I want to like welcome every opinion, but I get that when that starts becoming like attached to like a party image or something, like and trying to kind of curtail that a little bit. I don't necessarily agree with his energy and how he curtailed it was a little abrasive, but I get not wanting to have that be attached.
Yeah, like you know, if we're gonna have a discussion about science, let's not just use anecdotes, right? Like let's actually have some kind of study, some kind of evidence, some kind of quantifiable something that everyone else can go
something
verify.
To support the anecdote at least.
Piece of context. I think one, he was bringing up physics to show I can read science, understand scientific research, things like that.
Yeah.
Right.
And also, he's on the panel of people who are supposed to be rating what just happened, and he's playing the Simon Cowell character, obviously. You know, Simon doesn't say, "Let me walk you through music theory and why you're wrong." He's like, "You were garbage. You sucked. Get off the stage."
Yeah.
So that's what.
Well, and also,
you're totally
like,
right there on the personality.
It seems like the greatest gripe, like it seems to be like that's kind of a lighthearted event, like what's a funny like law that you don't want, or like what, like And this guy comes up just being a Debbie Downer. Also, like, come on, man. You're
Yeah,
hard for the mill. Like,
he also seemed to me like somebody who's hurting because he said his daughter died 2 weeks ago, and that's tragic.
Yeah, and
2
also,
weeks? Was it 2 weeks?
I think that's what he said.
Well, and honestly, RFK probably brought those people there.
Right, that's what I was getting at. Like, Jeremy's really, like, trying to, I don't want to say the naughty word of gatekeep, but,
Is he
he's
separating himself from...
Well, he's just
RFK?
like, he doesn't want the libertarians falling for
He's sheepdogging. It's not gatekeeping.
Yeah, it's right.
You know, do you really belong here, or are you just planting yourself here?
Yeah,
so you can be seen.
He was there for Kennedy. His whole speech was about how libertarians needed to support Kennedy and all, you know.
Yeah, okay. That there, then, okay. Well,
Oh, yeah, red flag laws. I love them. Please. Yeah, let's raise taxes.
Yeah,
Get out of
and
here.
he came out against the for affirmative action today. He said that the Supreme Court chose wrongly, basically, and that we should
We
have
started talking
discrimination.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's look. I love what Kennedy's about. I love the cornerstones of his platform. I love that as a candidate, he's getting an uncensored, well, what should be an uncensored platform to actually finish his thoughts. You know, now watching a 3-hour podcast, you know, I love the guy, but it's hard to listen to him for 3 hours straight on Theo Vaughn. But it's what he says is highly credible. I mean, the dude was one of the most powerful environmental attorneys in the country for years, and so he knows what he's talking about. Because the way he's arrived at this point was because he asked a question, and he was met with such opposition that he went, "Wait a second, why?" And then he got more opposition, and he goes, "No, screw you. You're going to tell me why."
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where he is today, and it's I'm proud of that, you know. But I don't love the guy's whole campaign. But to have him, if he's the Democrat nominee, I don't feel like the UN Blue Hats are going to be walking in next month. You know what I mean?
That is what, like, he is when he did his environmental lawyering and stuff. So not only was he going after the companies or whatever, but like he was also seeing like his precious government like not like function at the behest of the people that they were regulating. But I think just like you said,
Good
like
use of behest.
Thank you.
One of my favorite words,
I am the trivia winner.
I'll just stipulate.
It does seem like but that's like if my neighbor votes for RFK Jr., I could still have dinner with him if I'm a Trump guy, or I'm at like it. There's a little bit of that. Like, can't we get back to like disagreeing?
There's
about
plenty of common ground with him and his
like,
followers and anyone else.
Yeah, like so he doesn't seem like he seems like one of the more like, oh, this guy's just like a Bill Clinton Democrat. Like, you know, when that was like we would just long for that, you know.
Right.
You know, it's just like I think he just gives off the illusion of like not the illusion, but it's just like
a vibe.
Like he has the beliefs of like of a Democrat when things were right with the country, like early 90s, like when the Braves are good and the Cowboys are good, and like it's with the dream team, and like where we can
when we were on Hannah Walsh. Wait a minute.
Hey girl.
Yeah.
She came to Matt Walsh.
Now I'm like testing my name memory, and I'm so bad with names.
Oh, look at him! He's stunned. Look at him getting flabbergasted.
Yeah,
I'm so bad with names.
I don't know if this helps. Dynasty League forever.
Oh, Hannah! Oh,
oh, jeez.
Then it's with context now. I fully know. Yeah, this is Jake's brother's wife. Yeah.
I like that.
Okay.
The Walsh is throwing me off because I don't know her last name. She's just to me, she's just Hannah. You know. But.
Sure, I got you. Yeah.
All right. Do we want to move on to the serious topic now?
Please.
The serious topic of that Hannah beat me in a championship in my fantasy league. Yeah.
Beating you in fantasy many times.
Yeah, see. I remember.
All right. Let's move on to this more serious topic. This is the one that Zane wanted us to talk about. No, he's not even here. But basically, you know, we saw over, I guess, the last week, this Wagner group insurrection, the coup, whatever you want to call it, that happened in Russia, where they start their trek towards Moscow, and nobody knew what was going on at the time. This guy, Prigozhin, has been talking a lot of shit, been yelling on video, mad about this and the other, and the Wagner group not getting enough ammo. And then it seemed like, you know, what's going on? Is he going to try to, like, you know, unseat Putin? Is this another Russian revolution? What's going on? And immediately in that aftermath, there was a lot of libertarians who were like, well, this is obviously CIA. This is Western intelligence. He's, you know, must have gotten that $6.3 billion they found, you know, put in his pocket. And I went looking, and this
that
was
accounting error in your favor, like a Monopoly card, like, yeah.
Yeah. So I went looking, and a lot of people don't believe that. A lot of people I trust and kind of get my cues from on these things. But I did find one person who is an ex-CIA and something, not an agent. And I don't remember. It'll come up on the screen, though, that he was CIA intelligence. What's that?
He looks like an Archer character.
Yeah.
That's pretty valid.
He's gonna walk us through it, and this is a little bit sped up, and it's about 3 minutes long. So let's watch this, and then we can comment.
Okay.
Big picture, what's your take on what happened with Yevgeny Prigozhin and the aborted march toward Moscow?
Fundamentally, this was a Western attempt to try to foment a coup in Russia. Prigozhin, I believe, was a witting participant in double-crossing the West. That he had, sort of like Luke Brodsky in The Godfather, he went to offer his services to the bad guys, this time NATO and Ukraine. But then he turned it over to Russian intelligence, and they exploited it.
Are you saying that Prigozhin is and was a double agent?
That's what I believe, yes. Because if he wasn't, he'd be dead. You cannot betray Russia, as he is alleged to have betrayed Russia, and still be walking around alive, particularly if the number of airmen that are reportedly dead actually happened. I question that simply because there has not been a lot of good video evidence to substantiate that.
So walk us through it. Did he provide intel to NATO? And did he provide them with stuff that they probably already had? What intel did he provide them with?
So a friend of mine, Steve Bryan, who was a Defense Department official during the Reagan administration, he has sources that have confirmed to him that there was an approach made to Prigozhin during a trip to Africa, perhaps as late as January of 2023. And basically, he was pitched to come in and help the West. And it was portrayed as that, Putin's corrupt, the country's weak, all we need to do is just push it over a little bit. And so Prigozhin began to cooperate. Now, we were told through the documents that were released by Jack Teixeira in the Discord leaks that Prigozhin had passed information about the location of Russian troops, which sounds pretty damning, except when you step back and realize, as I've written, that's like taking a load of snow to Eskimos in January, because the United States already knew the location of Russian troops because we have intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance platforms that allow us to observe 24/7. The eye of Sauron, if you will, looking over the battlefield. So,
wow, he actually said it.
Prigozhin to establish his bona fides. And then it was after that January meeting that Prigozhin starts these crazy rants, and he's ranting about the corruption in the Department of Defense. So here's the key, Judge. The CIA was briefing Congress in advance of all of this. That means they knew. So how did they know? I don't think they intercepted a phone call of Prigozhin calling up his mistress or whoever saying, hey, on Friday I'm going to launch a mutiny and be sure to watch the television. So it meant that there was human source, human contact. Some human being, maybe Prigozhin himself, told him what he was going to do and when he was going to do it. And it just happened to coincide with the end of a major NATO military exercise in Europe.
Here's what I know. And I will always preface this with I am not a smart person, but
you did win trivia, so
I am a thinker. I just, when people go like CIA or whatever, blah blah blah. Yes, what he says is true. Like, how can you just turn and then like not be like hung from the street? But I knew it didn't make sense when there was the video going around of that head guy of the Wagner group, like when they took over that military compound or whatever. Like, I went, wait a minute. We've seen a video of a helicopter shooting off a flare, and all of a sudden we have this video of the Wagner dude talking to the Russian general or whatever, seemingly mic'd up pretty well to be a war zone, like an episode of Bar Rescue, like.
Or
I went,
a quarterback.
I kind of feel like there's a reason why we're seeing this.
Yeah.
Like, everything's perfectly in frame. Everything is like enter from stage right, come in.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, so I don't know. All I know is like.
You're thinking how I think a little bit with stuff. Like,
yeah.
Well, and here's another possibility. This could be a triple cross. This could very well be the, Prigozhin gets the $6.3 billion accounting error, splits it with Putin, acts like he's betraying him. I mean, how many Russian troops actually died in his little takeover, in his march to Moscow?
The guy in the video, Larry Johnson, I think it was, he said too that it could be a triple cross, and then he also doesn't know that anyone died in it. Like, there's been reports of helicopters shot down and planes shot down.
So you're leading a mutiny against your native country, and you have a convoy, 2-3 miles long, and you're marching along a freeway, a straight freeway with no air support. Like, this is the most tactically unsound move you could possibly ever make.
Circa,
and this is supposedly
75. Yeah.
This is supposedly the best military tactician in Russia currently.
Well, I don't
and
think
he's marching.
Prigozhin is. He's a gangster, basically.
They're the ones winning all the battles. Anytime the Ukrainians take something, it's the Wagner group that goes in and takes it back.
Yeah, there are commanders in the Wagner group, and he takes credit, but he doesn't have any military experience.
Well, how does he lead it? I mean, because Russia, they run on machismo. Like, you got to be able to beat somebody up to run something over there.
Well, he is a gangster. I just don't think he doesn't have a military background, but I don't know. I don't know if that even means anything in this scenario. Like, yeah, it was silly, and it was almost as bad as January 6th, but
yeah. And where are the dead bodies? And then we got our CIA analyst. He's even talking about the Eye of Sauron, and that's what Buddy's talking about. Is this thing looks like a set up movie. I mean, we've got camera angles that shouldn't exist in a war zone.
Yeah,
we have picture quality that shouldn't exist in a war zone. Audio quality that doesn't even exist on The View.
Remember when we had footage of Osama bin Laden in a cave somehow on some CBS interview, and you're like, wait, how did they get in there and get that, but we can't find them to, like, what are you talking about? Like, these are the types of things that have bothered me since I was a kid, where I'm like, that doesn't, wait, what? Like, you're telling me both are true, that we can't find them, but we got this tape from them? Like,
and then you get that was it the president of Pakistan? It was a female, and she was on, I think, the BBC, and she was like,
because she said that he's already dead.
Yeah, bin Laden was dead years ago. He has to have dialysis twice a week.
She died like 2 days later.
Blew her head off in a parade. Yeah,
dude. Yeah, I know. I have this. If I had files somewhere saved, I don't remember her name, but I know exactly who you're talking about. I think she was the president, and she was killed, I think, within a week of that interview where she said that, Osama bin Laden.
Well, I remember a Fox News report talking about we killed his dialysis doctor in the Kush Mountains.
Well, and the
dude was bad off.
The plan to kill him and have Obama, and that administration kind of do that and present that, and then they're like, "Hey, let's have his body," and it's like, "No, you can't see that." And we've seen this before with like even Hitler's body, and like how we're like, what was it that the experts thought that skeleton of his was like even a woman?
No, they didn't think. They didn't think. Like, they tested it, and that was a female skull.
That's what I'm saying.
They pulled out of that tomb.
It's not.
It was a female skull. And then 10 years later, all of a sudden, there's all these German Nazi regalia things popping up in South America.
Yeah.
Right. So real quick, here's what I was able to find independently. So Gang of Eight briefed about Wagner Group movements. And in here, this is on June 24th, which I think was the day everything was kicking off. I could be wrong about that. And then it says they were briefed in recent days about potentially concerning the Wagner Group's movements. And then this next one is even more explicit, where it says U.S. saw signs that Prigozhin was challenging Russia and that the Gang of Eight was briefed before this even happened.
Didn't McCain start the Gang of Eight?
I'm not sure, but
I have to hop off, but I will say there's a reason why they call it the theater of war, and that is going to be my closing statement. Buddy, it was good to meet you. I got to get going a little early tonight. Steven, glad to have you back.
Cheers.
Zach, you're doing a good job, my friend. Cheers to everybody. I'm going to take a swig right out of this bottle with you guys.
Well, I forgot to ask everybody. What are you drinking, Alden?
I'm drinking Jameson Caskmates Stout Edition right out of the bottle because I don't have any glasses left in my house. So.
All right. Yeah. All right. And what are you drinking, Steven?
Just a random assortment of IPAs. I got some of the homebrew. I've got a strawberry blonde ale I'm about to pour up in a minute, but Sweetwater IPA, then the good old classic Bell's Two Hearted.
I have a White Claw. And then, buddy, you put down the bottle long ago, right?
Yeah, I'm drinking milk. I crush milk.
Oh, we got a comment for that in here somewhere.
Listen, whenever I see these, they had advance warning.
Matt Carter said he needs some milk.
He needs some milk. Even my kids say that. Whenever you see they had advance warning, and when I see this, what my silly goose brain says, that's just the way of the CIA using it's just feeding itself so they can say look, even they saw this comment, we knew this was going to happen, yeah, because y'all made it happen, and then now y'all can say oh, we predicted this because we got yeah, because you're making it happen. It just
yeah,
it's circular. Anyway,
I don't know, but of everything I've seen in the last few days, that was the guy who I trust him somewhat. I don't know that guy very well, but he his background adds up. He was a CIA intel analyst, and he seems pretty convinced. And then there's other people who I find just as credible that aren't convinced. So,
well, and here's the other thing too: is he still active in the CIA?
I don't think so, but who knows? Is anybody ever ex-CIA?
That's right. That's what I also come to it from. Does it matter? Does it? I mean, let's find out. That's what happened. Are we gonna see a perp walk? Is anybody? You know what I mean? Does it matter?
Would people even change their minds? If we revealed right now, it was all CIA op gone wrong. Everybody, well, we'll try it again next time.
Yeah.
Well, there is still the Proud Boy angle of this is all to stamp out the white heterosexual Christian population in Russia, that has been gaining traction in the last 10, 20 years.
Aren't they stamping themselves out with vodka, though?
No, well, sure. They got their own problems. But this is, look at the people in Ukraine, going back to, who was the guy that was in there before Poroshenko? David DeCamp corrected me on it. The people that we were supporting,
I can't do it in the moment.
Right. But the people we were supporting, when he was thrown out, I mean, these guys are carrying swastika flags.
Was it Yanukovych?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I didn't want to say anything.
Yeah. So when Yanukovych got ran out of town, I mean, that was the people that, we were backing also had the Soros money, and they also had swastika flags. And those are the ones that are still there. The Azov battalion, all that kind of stuff. So at least that's how Putin's framing it to a portion of his population as well, is that, he's pushing back on the fascists because, the policies he's put in place I'm not saying the guy's perfect by any means, but compared to the Soviet Union days, when this guy's, hey, you have kids, we give you money for that. Like, please have kids. That sounds pretty pro-life. And then, I mean, there's many other things you can look at, but I don't know. I wouldn't go so far as to say this is a holy war. It's just there's enough BS swirling around that it's crystal clear. We have no business there.
Mm-hmm.
Like
it's just crazy white people stuff. That's all
Yeah.
I look at. Like they're crazy. Those people are the craziest of the whites. Just let them be crazy. It's fine.
There's no way to throw your weight for either side and not be a total butthead. Like, just
I think it was like Michael Malice said something like people make the mistake of thinking Russians are just like French people who speak a different language, but they're not. They're like a completely different thing. They don't think like us. They don't have the same values as us in a lot of ways.
It's a different culture. It's a different,
yeah.
That it's even the term Mother Russia, like countrymen, like, yeah, it's not the Soviet Union, but the roots of that, mighty, and even like smiling there is like I could never survive there, because like if you smile there, that's like
something's
soft.
wrong with you.
Yeah, or you're soft, like you're weak. I'm just like, oh, well, sorry, like not a good fit, So like that all translates into all that, because at the end of the day, it is those dudes making decisions about war. So like, yeah, that's what it's gonna be. It's just gonna be two dudes just touching their wieners together. There's sword fighting. Like,
that's right.
That's all it is.
The prevailing thought seems to be, at least with some neocons that I talk to, the prevailing thought with them is that we're just trying to cause Russia to expend all their resources, because we're just throwing all of our old scrap metal at this thing. So I was talking to somebody a few weeks ago. They were so upset that we sent some F-16s over there. I said, hey, bro, you ever see the first Top Gun movie? Like, yeah. I was like, that movie is 40 years old, and they called those planes old in that movie. And that's what we sent over there. So what are you mad about?
Yeah. Well, also, I mean, we're not just throwing scrap metal, but we're throwing lots of Ukrainian lives. Now we're throwing the lives of others. Like there were American mercenaries killed there in the last few days. Well, and then the F-16 thing doesn't really make sense because they don't have people who can fly F-16s. And I guess if we train them, it's going to be on some accelerated route where, who knows if they're going to be any good at it. They also don't have the runways for F-16s, so they'll probably be launching from somewhere like Poland.
Because you need like half a mile to get the thing off the ground.
So,
50 years old.
That's what I was talking about Will like this the other day. Like I kind of having like one of those like really big realizations. Like when you're working with a conscripted army and there's no end to this, I know that for the most part, Ukrainians are like they're ethnically like the Russians. They're just it's different border, But I was like, we're like Munchausen genocide by proxying these people.
Yeah,
like we're literally getting rid of all that ethnic, like they're breeding males. We are taking them out of the blood, like we're taking them out of the genetic pool. Like there is no like, and I was like, man, that's really gross. Like
it's like the Armenian genocide meets American Idol, right? Because it's all being like so televised. Everyone's just voting with their attention, watching the videos, retweeting, sharing their opinions on stuff that's not even, you can't even verify it. You don't even know if it's real. Everybody's just reacting emotionally in the moment so quickly because so much information is coming out so fast. And that's why what gets me too is anytime Zelensky puts out a video, he even says, please wait for official media to come out before you react so you know the facts. And I'm like, well, that's a psyop in and of itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like what he would say. It's like, wait till we speak before you think anything.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, I mean, the whole thing is just such a sideshow, and to think that, you know, we're causing Russia to deplete all of its resources using 50-year-old military tech is stupid. It's absolutely stupid. You know, because everyone's like, oh, he's going to use the nukes. Dude, we got things beyond nukes now. We got lasers up in freaking space. I mean, Reagan put those up there. They're that old. Yeah, they got freaking laser beams. Yeah. But
they're not Jewish.
Well, and then there's not only that, but I mean, if you get into like 5th and 6th generation military tech, we're talking, you know, planar and scalar wave technologies. I mean, there's stuff that can just set the atmosphere on fire. We're talking Tunguska event type stuff. You know, old Nikola Tesla technology, which, by the way, when Nikola Tesla died, it was Donald Trump's uncle that took all his blueprints because he was a physicist in the Navy. So this stuff is 100 years old. You know, Tesla's death ray is a real freaking thing. And to think that, you know, we know the latest, greatest tech, you know, just because we can, you know, live tweet somebody across the world is naive. Like, there's things that are going on that the government's kept from us our whole lives. There's a whole new generation of tech at play here. And it's either let people have control, let people have access to it and control over their own lives and use it for the benefit and the advancement of humankind, or maintain this control system, hide all this stuff, and keep up the ruse.
Yeah. All right. So let's end on something a little more light. Or really, I don't know if this is lighter or not, but you might just get as worked up about this. Let's see. Maybe especially Buddy, because this has to do with cooking, but New York City threatens pizzerias with coal and wood fire ovens to cut carbon emissions. So basically, they're making it so that anybody with a wood or coal fire oven in New York, which there aren't a ton of, there's about 100 restaurants or less that are doing this, but they're on the chopping block. Like, you can't have authentic New York style wood fire, coal fire pizza anymore because the environment, while, you know, they're shooting missiles and flying planes and stuff in Ukraine. So let's look at this real quick. So,
I saw this guy.
Here's one guy's protest against it.
Give us pizza or give us death.
And apparently this is City Hall.
Give us pizza or give us death.
Why is there a
Give
fence?
us pizza or give us death.
Because he's a dumb Italian, he doesn't realize he's at the wrong entrance. Like Genzaloon. Why are we up in the mezzanine? Here's how I look at this. And there's kind of a sad version of it too, but also, like, listen, this guy made a good speech about being the tough New Yorkers, and it's just like, that's no longer, that's gone. Like, yeah, me and my dad watching the Yankees, and like that's gone. There's no more dads in this society. The old-timey baseball, that's gone. The tough New Yorker, that's gone. It's just, but it's gross people everywhere and gross elites. That's all it is. It's elites and gross, probably immigrants. Ugh. You know, it's just like, it's sad because we're watching, like, just, yes, these people hate you and they hate your culture. Like, this is a non-issue, except for, yeah, it'll probably just really piss these people off. It is a non-issue.
Yeah. Well, the number one polluter in the world is the U.S. military. You think they would take the plank out of their eye before worrying about wood-fired pizza?
Listen, L.A. and people around L.A., like, the biggest cause for concern, the biggest complaint is leaf blowers, because they just got to move debris everywhere. And listen, there will always be, like, they're trying to move to electric and all that kind of stuff. But if that policy, they will never enact a green policy directly that directly affects people of color. Because if you want to tell, like, you can't use leaf blowers, Well, there goes the lawn care industry. And who makes up the lawn care industry in California? It's all brown people. It's all like you won't like they will now. Granted, any kind of green laws just affects everyone poorly, and obviously the poor get affected the most. Blah 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 blah. So like that's why like if there was really like,
but the no combustion engines after 2030, like I don't know, I'm at the point like I'm looking for loans so I can start a used car business in California in 2028.
Yeah, really. So it's just like that only. If that was like, let me try it. Like, you wouldn't, if it turns out that, I don't know, the process of frying or using corn tortilla chips was like, the grease was super bad for the environment, or just, hear me out on this. Like, you would not find an environmental regulation getting rid of those in New York City.
So do Italians not count anymore?
Correct. The Italians are white now in New York City. Like, but that's also like, it's also reminiscent of just old school New York Americana. Like, there's a saying, like, that's what I mean. If it's
all these cultural staples that make us the melting pot are slowly being dismantled. And to borrow from an old phrase is, well, hey, I'm not an Italian. Screw those guys. Why do I have to defend them? But then when they come for my hamburgers, the Italians don't give a crap about me.
That's right. It's just, I can't, I hate thinking like this, but when you find things like this in New York City, LA, San Francisco, like, especially when there's any like these crazy self-defense scenarios, I feel like, yeah, that's why I can't vacation there. Because I know that the laws are like that there. And God forbid if anything happens like that where I have to get in that situation and I get on I go, oh yeah, but I knew this coming here. Like I knew the laws were like this. Great. Like, so I kind of don't like, and California, when they had a chance to recall Newsom or whatever, and that failed, I went, they deserve everything they get. They deserve everything they get. New Yorkers used to be tough and fight back against that, and they're taking the one thing that you're known for, and no one cares.
Yeah.
Well, we could use it in Atlanta or in Georgia in general. Just some delicious wood fire pizza would be great. I mean, we already have some good ones, but
oh yeah. Well, there's down here in Peachtree City, we got Positano's. That place is amazing, and they get all of their ingredients come straight from Italy. There's people that come in, they're like, I'm not celiac, but I'm gluten sensitive. And they're like, listen, you're not gluten sensitive. Your government's poisoning you. This stuff's from Italy. Try a slice.
Yeah. It might have even been you talking about it where people go on vacation to Italy thinking they're gluten sensitive and they're like, well, I'm not here.
Right.
So,
like, I can understand, I think it might be like the coal wood fire from a environmental thing. I can understand it's like it might be a legit, not a legit, but like a particulates thing with the city. Like if everyone had one, like you know what I'm saying, like there's not that many, so I just don't understand.
Yeah, how many taxi cabs are there?
Yeah,
right. Too many. They're gross.
Until I see little kids pedaling people around the city on a bicycle instead of a taxi cab, I'll believe, at that point, I'll believe that the wood fire ovens are something. But when half of Canada is freaking on fire and you're trying to tell this dude at the pizzeria shop he's ruining the environment, kiss my butt.
Or when they blow up the Nord Stream pipeline and release more methane into the air than it's ever been released.
Yeah.
So, anyway, on that note, it was supposed to be a fun note, but anyway.
No, it still is. I'm right there with you, man. It's just a it's a marginalization thing. It's government ridiculousness in action, and we'll see how many people show up. But so I'm from Fayetteville, so Fayetteville just enacted. So the Baptist Church runs things down here, has for 100+ years. Has a say in what movies get shown at the local theater and all that kind of stuff. And I grew up Baptist, so I'm not talking bad on them. But it's just, some of the things like, why can't I go have a mimosa on Sunday morning?
Right.
It's pretty silly. So, anyways, we just got liquor stores passed in Fayetteville in 2020, like late 2020. It was January 2021. So there were 7 liquor stores that got the permits. There's all these kind of restrictions that they got to have. So they were like, well, I don't want them to sell tobacco or sell lotto tickets. I don't want these lotto scratchers just blocking up traffic, going to liquor stores, going around buying up all the lotto tickets. I'm like, tell me you're racist without telling me you're racist, man. Like, what do you, all these things that you're talking about, like, well, we know what the neighboring cities are like, and we don't want that with our liquor stores. And it's like, oh, yeah? Okay. Let's get a little more descriptive here. It's the same thing with the wood burning the pizza ovens. Like, come on, guys. Really?
That's right. Because, like, it does seem like the Italians, the old school Italians, that is kind of like the last culturally accepted, relatively conservative, like family values, like it, you know what I mean? Like,
who's going to the Korean barbecues asking where the kimchi comes from? Because last I checked, you bury a pressure cooker in your backyard for a month and a half.
I mean, we got a bunch of Irish drinking on camera right now and talking shit. So,
right, I mean, there's ways to pick all these things apart. Like, well, that's not this or that, but it's that going into it, what you're taking part in. That's the whole point. Yeah. It's risky, but it's also fun, and you get to celebrate, what they do, where they came from, what their family's done for millennia.
All right, buddy. We'll put you to bed. Tell us where we can find you.
On Twitter at myarcusbuddy. That's where I know everyone from. I don't really do much politicking. There's no way I could do that. You don't want me doing that? Heck no. But that's it. I'm your new best friend.
Well, thank you so much for coming and saving us there a little bit at the beginning, because I'm not built for this.
I won trivia. All right, I got to go to bed. Later,
cheers, buddy.
And then go ahead and say your piece, Stephen. Whatever you got. Well,
I would just say that there's division being put on us. If you're listening from Georgia and the Metro Atlanta area, there's stuff on a popular radio show in the morning, in the drive time where you get your weather and your traffic, all this kind of stuff. Every day for the last week and a half, they've put out some kind of report about, well, more Americans feel disconnected than ever before. More Americans feel disenfranchised than ever before. More Americans feel like they're not significant than ever before. And pay attention to the stories they run before and after that kind of crap, because it's there to implant a feeling of helplessness, a feeling of despair, isolation, because whatever comes right after that feeling gets in your head stays. It's more effective. They have to tear down your walls of hope and confidence and love to be able to plant in this fear and this garbage that they're putting in your head to program you. That's why it's called programming. Don't pay attention to it. Talk to people in the checkout line at the grocery store. Talk to your neighbors. The average person you run into every day is just like you. They're just trying to go to work and be a good person and have friends and support their families.
Absolutely. All right. Well, on that note, thank you so much for being here, and we'll roll credits. See you next week, Thursdays at 8:00. We'll have somebody back doing this who knows what they're doing. So, bye, everyone.
Cheers, everybody.